It's Thursday Night Thunder in the Coast to Coast Racing League. I'm Zach Chapman, and Coast to Coast Racing League welcomes you to the 358 Modified Division live here at Lernerville Speedway. I noticed my ticker says Weed Sport. I'll have to look at that. I thought I ran through everything good enough, but I'll have to change that. We're at Lernerville Week 2 here of our winter season. Isaac Salas, your current points leader right now, but looking like the track isn't too wore in. It looks like we got a pretty fresh track tonight, so hopefully it'll lead to some good racing. But thank you for joining me here tonight, and let me know who you're rooting for out there in the chat for sure. See, I'm gonna make an adjustment to that standing here quick as they roll over. They should be going into qualifying here, so while you guys are keeping an eye on the timing, I'll try to update you, and I'll try to change that here quick. Alrighty, so a lot of drivers. Isaac Salas now to the top of the charts with a 15.49 right now, a tenth and a half over the rest of the field. I may have to get some tech help here, maybe an intermission or something. So just ignore that Weed Sport, because on my end, I'm telling you, I typed in C2C 358 Modifieds Week 2 Lernerville, but I'm still working out the bugs here. I'm the new guy, so bear with me here. Trevor Giroux coming in second with the 15.5, only a hundredth of a second off Isaac. So chewing into that time a little bit, but those two guys have a tenth on third place, which I imagine that'll kind of wind in here as we move on. But I mean, if you got a tenth on them, it's going to be tough to make up here. But we'll have to see what they can do. But as the track wears on, you're going to have different lines, and you'll have all places to go all over the track. All right, as we roll into Flatline Racing Bodies, heat number 1. Let me give you the starting grid here. Jason Butterfield's going to start on the pole position. Brian Lawson rounding out row 1. Row 2, Brendan Templeton and Isaac Salas. Row 3, Trent Stratton, Alex Pomerleau. Rounding out the field in row 4, Brian Dickens and Jack Clevenger. Top 4, I mean, not that anybody not in the top 4 is not there, but wow, the top 4, any one of them, wouldn't be surprised if they win the feature. We're looking at a real good heat race here, so I'm going to try to keep the action on all of it, but I'm sure with these names, there's going to be action all over the field tonight. So hopefully they kick us off with a good start here and kick this wonderful Thursday Night Thunder off the right way. I think we're waiting on somebody to grid here, so shouldn't be too much longer. My first night doing this by myself, they couldn't make it easy on me. Somebody had to wait forever to grid. I'm sure somebody's laughing listening to this, but we'll see if I can make up for it with my race calls here. But Jason Butterfield, very impressive car since he's joined us in the league, but I would have to say that I got to watch here. Like say your point leader, that number 05, Isaac Salas. Whether it's a 358 or a big block, he's one of the quickest guys out there. He's got throttle control down. Not sure if he's going to join us for the late models in Cup race or not, or Xfinity race, but I imagine he'll try to if he can. As the field, we're finally rolling here. Ooh, maybe a little, almost looked like a little contact pulling out. These things are real tough to drive at the low speed. It's almost, some of us like to drag the brakes as we go around here. Helps us keep the car a little steady. You saw in qualifying, though, that the one lap I noticed, sorry, I didn't have it on the camera right away either. That was another apology as I was trying to type that. But it seemed like they were running the middle. Let's see if they try to fight over that or if somebody goes way to the top and tries to get a run. But looks kind of slick up there right now, but we'll have to see.
Green flag, green flag.
Green flag's out. Jason Butterfield's going to lead him to the green flag. Brian Lawson with a big run going into 2. Isaac Salas right there looking to make it, or no, he couldn't make it 3 wide. Tried to stick it in the middle coming off, but 2 wide, 2 rows forward as Jason Butterfield leads us to lap number 1. Brian Lawson, though, with a big run coming out of 2. You had him going into 3, but we'll see. Not as big of a run coming out of 4, but it's enough to beat him to the line. Brian Lawson to the line, leading lap number 2. Lawson with a big run here, going to be able to clear him. His teammate Isaac Salas right behind him, going to try to follow him to 2nd place here. Ooh, big slider, but Brian was there. Not really any place for Butterfield to go there. He had to get on the brakes, and Isaac's going to get him for 2nd. So maybe Brandon Templeton sniffs down on the bottom looking for 3rd place here. And Templeton with a big run on the bottom, tries to slide up in front, not able to get it done. As we look up front here, Isaac Salas peeking low on Brian Lawson. He's going to think about it while those 2 are racing back there for 3rd, because this is his best time to try and get it here. Isaac Salas just can't get it done on the bottom, doesn't want to get it done. Oh, looks like maybe Brandon Templeton somehow involved in a crash back there as we were watching these guys race, because Jason Butterfield now is 3rd place all to his own. But that's the checkered flag. So the top 4 are going to be Brian Lawson, Isaac Salas, Jason Butterfield, and Alex Pomeroy. And your starting grid here for heat number 2. Jeff Barker's going to start on the pole. Butch Baker's going to round out the front row. Row number 2, Logan Wentz. On the outside, Trevor Giroux. Row number 3, Greg Parmalee and Anthony Morano. And rounding out the field tonight, Gary Offit. A lot of names here. Heat number 2. Definitely one of the guys got to watch out for. Logan Wentz. He got his first win, I believe, in Coast to Coast last week. And it was a big drive to the front, so we'll have to see if he can back that up again. But Anthony Morano, also another big name here, starting in the 5th position.
Green flag, green flag.
Good jump for Butch Baker on the outside. Going to easily be able to clear Jeff Barker, I'd imagine. Coming out of 2 here as Jeff Barker blinks a little bit, but got it all under control. Trevor Giroux, though, going real high in 3 and 4, looking to build up momentum and maybe get a run on these front 2 as they battle. Jeff Barker really making the inside work. I think Butch is going to have a little tougher time in the middle. You're not getting as wound up, and you don't really have the exit speed that the guy up high has. As you see Trevor Giroux, now that the motor's getting wound up, really starting to get a run up there, and wouldn't be surprised if in 1 or 2 laps he's battling for the lead. As right as I say that, Butch Baker just moves up, and I think he made the right call there. Jeff Barker definitely hopping in and out a little bit. That's not the funnest to be around, but I've definitely seen worse, and really try to work on that connection in between races here. Giroux just not able to really get the high side going after he tried to go in the middle after Butch Baker slid up, and it slowed him down, but it seems maybe he's getting wound up again and starting to get a little bit of run. Here's we're going on the final lap. I just realized how to get the session state on. Sorry for that. But what a race to the line. And it looks like it's going to be Butch Baker just edging out Trevor Giroux. Not able to get it done, but wow, what a battle of the line there. We bring up the grid here. Starting grid here for heat number 3. We've got Jeff Sharp starting on the pole, Michael Vitale rounding out the front row. Inside of row number 2, Kurt Schatzer, followed by Samuel Bachman. Inside of row 3, Kelly Wheeler. On the outside, Patrick Spengler. Rounding out the field, Michael Vecchio. On heat number 2, that was sponsored by Full Throttle Motorsports. Gotta get used to doing this here. Let me get us on the right camera, and then I'll read us off the sponsor here for heat number 3. It's gonna be Top Notch Trucking. Home Glen Ridge Motorsports Parks. Oh, I'm not really sure. Sorry, my eyes are getting bad, and that's a little too small. But here we go for heat number 3. Gonna blow that up for the next heat race here, but big jump again on the outside. Seems like that's almost maybe the place to be. Maybe you have a little more speed coming out of 4 as you're trying to match up speed with that leader, because Michael Vitale, big run here. Maybe he's going to clear him, and I imagine, yeah, he's going to beat him to the line here, your leader for lap number 1. Back there, we'll take a look at the battle for the 4th position, the last transfer spot. Samuel Bachman on the outside trying to hold off Kelly Wheeler, but doesn't look like he's going to be able to. No, he may have beat him to the line there, but it's going to be really, really close battle here. He's kind of getting held up behind Kurt Schatzer on the outside. Kurt not having the best luck getting by Jeff Sharp. He's kind of running the middle, so I don't think he's really giving his car a full chance to get wound up like Samuel behind him. Michael Vitale led every lap of this race so far. Doesn't really look like Kurt. He gets a run there in the middle of the corner, but he loses it all in exit. Really overdoing the middle of the corner, whereas in Vitale's kind of easy in and really hard off, where Kurt Schatzer's running the opposite approach here. Jeff Sharp now trying to work on the last transfer spot here. They're coming on the white flag, final lap. We go back up front. Michael Vitale led every lap of this race, made it look pretty easy, and he's going to be your heat race winner here in heat number 3. Rounded out by Kurt Schatzer in 2nd, Samuel Bachman in 3rd, and Kelly Wheeler in the last transfer position. Let's bring up your starting grid here for heat race number 4, brought to you by Catalytic Recovery. Bob DeGood will be starting in your pole position in the number 7. Joe Halter rounding out the front row in 2nd in the number 22. Scott Rayom starting in 3rd. Dylan Kinsey starting in 4th. Randall Dixon starting on the inside of row 3. On the outside, Brandon Dittmer. Rounding out the field tonight will be Dean Reynolds. But it doesn't look like he made the call in time, so he may have to go through our B main here tonight.
Green, green, green.
Alrighty, green flag is out here. Heat race number 4. Joe Halter with a pretty good restart as well. We've seen that, like I say, we've seen that high side really prevail in the opening start. Seems like they just get up the song a little bit more and drive it in harder. Maybe pinch the guy down there a little bit. But Joe Halter is going to be your leader here, lap number 1. Scott Rayome looking to take over the second position from Bob the Good. Maybe a little contact there. Dylan Kinsey looks like maybe kissed Bob the Good on the back there, trying to get him moving. Told him it's time to go. He wants to make the show here. Let's go on board here, Scott. Really trying to get a big run inside of Bob. You hear how quiet it gets. He really shuts it down, trying to pick up the throttle early. He's going to try it again here. He may get a good enough run here to beat Bob to the line. Looks like he did edge him to the line maybe that time quickly. Let's go back up front as we got a battle for the lead. Scott Rayome trying to do the same thing to your leader, Joe Halter, trying to work the bottom, but Joe is running the middle. So he's going to get a little better exit than Bob the Good is. But, looks like maybe Brandon Dittmer almost got in the fence a little bit. But trying to make it 3 wide. Oh, Bob the Good gets a little sideways. Brandon Dittmer moves into your 4th and final transfer position. He's not done yet, though. He's looking for 3rd. Coming to the white flag lap here. Bob the Good trying to get a run on the outside. Maybe look to cross over, but Randall Dixon is down there. Oh, Bob tries to look down there. He's there. Meanwhile, Joe Halter is going to take the checkered flag. Big win for Joe Halter. Top 4 is going to be Joe Halter, Scott Rayome, Dylan Kinsey, and Brandon Dittmer. A big, good heat race. Alrighty here. We're going to bring you the B main. Let me try to run through this grid as quick as I can here. Starting on the pole, Trent Verstraeten, rounding out the front row, Anthony Morano. Inside of row 2, Jeff Sharp. Outside, Randall Dixon. Inside of row 3, Brandon Templeton. Outside of row number 3, Greg Parmalee. Inside of row number 4, Patrick Spangler. Outside, Bob DeGoon. Inside of row number 5, Brian Dickens. Outside of row number 5, Gary Offen. Inside of row number 6, Michael Vecchio. Outside, Dean Reynolds. And rounding out the field in 13th, Jack Clevenger. I think we'll be taking 8 people home, or taking 8 more to the feature here. So we're going to keep keep an eye on that battle for 8th. That's going to be our final transfer position tonight, I believe. Definitely some good, hard, clean racing so far. You know, until the track wears in a little bit, you definitely don't expect too much battling in the heat races, so it was definitely exciting to see some passing going on. But as this B main wears on, you're going to see patience start to thin and tempers start to flare, because you need to make top 8 to make the show. So you're going to see people run hard. Does look like, though, we had 3 miss the grid, so only 10 made the grid, so got to pass 2 guys. Maybe somebody else is going with the strategy of thinking there's going to be a big wreck and try to survive. But we'll have to see here as they get ready. I'm going to pace them around one more time here, probably to give me a little time to talk about the field size. Once again, you know, thank you for joining me tonight here at Coast to Coast. Really appreciate it. I enjoy having you guys check out the broadcast, and it's awesome to be able to bring it to you guys.
Green flag, green flag.
There's green flags out here. The B main, Trent Verstraeten with a good run there on the bottom. Looking to slide up in front of Anthony Morano, but Anthony Morano is going to get too big of a run. And I think Trent realizes, you know, top 8 make the show. You don't really need to win here. And truly, it may be an advantage to start on top, as we do have a little bit of contact back in the field. Bob the Good will be in 10th, so he's going to have to hope something happens here. We'll go up to 8 here with Gary Offen. Keep a little eye on this. Big run on Patrick Spengler. Brian Dickens now looking to get that 8th spot away. Brian Dickens, somebody who you're not really surprised if you hear him in a points battle. So kind of surprising to see him out of contention right now in the B main. You know, that's what it takes sometimes, a little bad luck, but he's trying to race his way in here. We're on lap 5 of 8 here. Got 4 to go, so halfway. So Brian's really trying to throw up for this position. He knows he needs it. Just having a really tough time with running the bottom. Really loses speed on exit. We're going to check out the lead at the front, see what's going on. Anthony Morano's made his way up there. He's really putting that right rear up close. He, even with 2 to go here and, you know, having a big cushion, he's not scared. He's running as hard as he can in 1 and 2, that's for sure. 3 and 4, it seems like he played it a little safer. The white flag is out here. It's going to be your final time coming through turns 3 and 4. Brandon Templeton looking for it. Is he going to? Almost. Anthony Morano just beat him to the line by 0.05 of a second. Top 5 are going to be Anthony Morano, Brandon Templeton, Trent Verstraeten, Randall Dixon, and Jeff Sharp. Brandon Dickens did not make the transfer. He is going to be going home. Gary Offit's going to get your final transfer position tonight. Going to go to warm-ups quick, and hopefully you'll be back to join me for tonight's feature action. Alrighty, we are back from warm-ups. Still no luck on the changing from the weed sport. Promise gonna figure it out one of these days. But not any luck here as we look at the timing sheets. Brandon Templeton tops warm-ups at a 15.63. Trent Verstraeten and Isaac Salas with a 15.67 second and third. So looking at definitely a close race here, hopefully. as we bring up your starting grid. Row number 1, Brian Lawson in the number 9, and Butch Baker in the 97. Row number 2, Michael Vitale in the 213, Joe Halter in the 22. Row number 3, Isaac Salas in the 05, Trevor Giroux in the 075. Row number 4, Kurt Schatzer in the 218, Scott Rayome in the 444. Row number 5, Jason Butterfield in the 93, and Jeff Barker in the 513. Inside of row number 6, Samuel Bachman in the 107 and Dylan Kinsey in the 083. Inside of row 7, Alex Pomerleau in the 397 and Logan Wentz in the 118. Row number 8, Kelly Wheeler in the 110, Brandon Dittmer in the 83. Row number 9, Anthony Morano in the 17, and Brandon Templeton in the 31. Row number 10, Trent Verstraeten in the 088, Randall Dixon in the 011, Greg Parmalee in the number 4, Jeff Sharp in the 28, Patrick Spangler in the 39, rounded out by Trent Verstraeten in the 088 and Gary Offit in the 94. So I got to start talking quicker. They started to move around, so my grid changed. Everything back up here, but we're definitely set for some big action here. Look for guys like Isaac Salas to make a march to the front. He's not a contender for, no reason. He knows how to drive no matter what track it is. Definitely a guy to keep an eye on. Joe Halter, the guy in the 22, he runs a Friday Night Lights League. Don't sleep on him. He watches some of the best guys race, and that's a great way to learn. He's a surprise guy there in number 3, but I don't know. If I got to put my money on anybody tonight, I really like Brian Lawson in the 9. He's real fast, and I think starting up front with his teammate beside him, he might be able to get a good jump and clear him. And having your teammate behind you, that might be a good thing tonight. So we'll have to see here as we get ready to roll off for the green flag here in the first feature of Thursday Night Thunder.
Green, green, green.
Brian Lawson and Butch Baker with fairly equal jumps there. Not really an advantage either one, but Brian's going to try to put it up there. Oh, and teammates get together on lap number 1. Oh, we saw it happen live. We get a caution. Let's go back and check it out here. We're going to rule the caution back with Jeff Sharp. Oh yeah, big wrecks after, big wrecks after. Let's see here. Yeah, they are going to call that the actual yellow, I guess, when he got infield at the 4. So much wrecking though. We saw it all happen live. Tough contact between the teammates. That is definitely not going to be a fun Discord right now, I wouldn't think. But they'll have to shake it off and keep on moving because there's a lot of racing left. One big beneficiary of that, it looks like, is Isaac Salas right now. He gets to go from the bottom to the top, and I think up top is where he wants to be. Brian thought maybe the teammate was going to let him in, but just nope, ran out of room. That's tough, It's first lap, like I say, you might think your teammate's going to let you in, but he wants that win just as bad as you do, so you can't really expect it here. Pace lights, yeah, should be off here. There, pace car's pulling off here, and Butch Baker's going to lead him to the green here on the high side. He chose the high side.
Green,
his teammate behind him, so you'll see. Gets a great jump there, and Isaac gets to follow him right around. I'm sure there was a countdown there. Joe Halter down there on the bottom kind of left in no man's land. Oh wait, no, that was actually Michael Vitale on the bottom in the 213. Kind of left in no man's land. Lost 3 spots on that restart. It's going to be tough. Tough to make that. Got a battle for the lead, though. Isaac Salas looking on the bottom here. It's right on board with Isaac. Real good view of Kiss. Butch and his wife, big Kiss
Yellow flag
fans.
is
Oh,
out.
we got a caution out here. Let's take a look at this. Change this up here. Jason Buttercup. Jason looks like it. Oh, got down in the grass, come up, got into someone, just went around, and oh man, lost him. Nowhere to go. Nowhere to go. Maybe the first time. May have been on him, you know, trying to go in front of his teammate, but that one's tough. Nowhere to go, really. I think Butch Baker, he might be liking this because he counted it down, I imagine, to help his teammate out. But, man, he'd be tough to do it again here because Isaac looked real fast. And Butch knows he's one of the quickest guys we have. So I'd make Isaac work for it here. I wouldn't let him know when I'm going and try to make him battle for that second position, hoping to gap a little bit. But we'll have to see how nice of a teammate Lawson is here. I mean, Butch is. Sorry, I think the 997. That's some old man syndrome, and I'm only 32. Butch Baker is gonna, or Brian, yeah, Butch Baker is gonna take the top here. Not sure why the ticker is doing that. It's saying Brian's up top. It's probably just because it hasn't updated yet. But that's what's, I think, been throwing me off. But Butch Baker is your leader here.
Green, green, green.
Yeah, it looks like he probably didn't help him out too much. Great start there for Butch. That's what he had to do. He does not want Isaac to be able to throw that slider, and boy, Isaac got close. Meanwhile, three wide back here. Some people going down on the grass. They're all over the place back there racing. Sam Bachman really putting that thing as low as he can right now, trying to find grip anywhere to get by. Not much room to pass. Oh, hold it together, boys. Alex Pomeroy, did he save it? Let's go check it out. He was able to hold it together. All sorts of contact. Good save, fellas. So we go back up to the lead here. Butch Baker, not much pressure right now from Isaac. I think Isaac.
Yellow flag is out.
Where does it say that? We get a caution here. Let's see what's going on. Scott Rion. Let's go live. Contact in front of him. And he just tried to avoid it. And that's how the caution came out. Definitely not of his doing. Not too sure who that was in front of him who got sideways in contact, but definitely not much Rayom could do about that. Doing a quick scan of the field here. Right now, our hard charger, Brandon Dittmer, or Patrick Spangler, actually, in the. Or wait, no, it's all ticking. Let it reset here. Alrighty, now let's take an accurate look. It is actually still, it's going to be Patrick Spangler, not as many positions as I was going to say. He's up from 23rd up to 10th. He's up 13 positions in the 39 car. Another big mover, Brandon Dittmer, in the 83. He's up 10 spots up to 6. So two guys definitely on the move, and that something like that is definitely in this man's head because Isaac does not want to, wait too long to make his move. He doesn't want those names to get up there behind him and make it harder on him. He knows that if he wants to do something, he's got to, do it quick. We're going to single file restarts here as we get ready to go green. Let's ride on board with Isaac Salas here and see how good of a jump he gets on the leader.
Green, green, green.
Pretty good restart there. Doesn't let him pull away too much. Gets a pretty good jump on Kurt Schatzer as well. So not a bad start for him. Right on board in the ride on the drone cam here. Get a good look at how close they get to that front stretch wall. Isaac really looking for it here. Is he going to be able to do it? He thought better. I think he had the room, but that being a teammate, he was going to be smart. But he may have opened the door now for Kurt Schatzer to start thinking about something. But Butch goes down and protects a little bit, and that puts Isaac in another tough spot. I think he knows he's got to finish the slider here. But he still doesn't do it. Going to let Kurt maybe get a peek. Going to slot back in line. There's definitely the point where Isaac, you definitely get a little frustrated when you're behind the guy there in 3 and 4 and they don't run totally up top. They kind of slow you down. He knows if he wants to do it, he's got to finish a slider, but doesn't want to have any more confrontations in that Venom Racing Discord. Take a look back at Patrick Spengler. He's up to 9th now. He was a 10th on the restart. Brandon Dittmer's still hanging around the 6th position, but Patrick Spengler really on the move. Oh, we have a yellow out. Like somebody towards the front. We'll get you a replay here. I believe Logan Lance. Oh, yeah, he just, I guess, was going to try to throw a slider there, realized Kurt was there and locked up the brakes, did the good thing there and, spun himself out, didn't take Kurt out because that was definitely a little aggressive. But, that's kind of stuff happens. He ends up turning into a train track whenever everybody wants the high side. And if you don't want to give and you just want to take, that kind of stuff's going to happen. But at least Kurt wasn't punished and he's going to be able to hang on to 3rd place. Imagine here, Lernerville is one of those tracks where sometimes if the leader's got a lead foot, they got to wait on the pace car. Yeah, sitting there waiting on the pace car. I'm not sure if we're going to go back to double file restarts here. I think they have the limit once there's 3 cautions, we stay single file, but we'll find out here. Lights are still on, so I'm not going to be able to tell you yet if they're running single file or not. Maybe they are off. Oh yeah, lights are off. They're pulling off, so we're going single file.
Green, green, green.
Turn up in this point camera again for this restart. Take a look at the top 3. Good jump for the front 2. Kurt's going to have a little heat on him from Michael Vitalik. Vital, sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. In the 213, he's up 4 spots. But Brandon Dittmer, meanwhile, up to 5th after that last accident. Up 11 spots, so he's really putting the move up in the top 5. Isaac Salas, meanwhile, throwing it. Not going to clear it, though. He's not going to have the momentum here to be able to do it in 3 and 4. Got a big run there in the middle of the corner, but I think he just has to get on the binders too much to be able to throw a big slider here. He doesn't want to do it, but he's almost got to back up a little bit here coming out of 1 and 2 because he's so much faster in 3 and 4, unless he's actually going to throw it and park it. And this time he is. He's going to finish the job. I think Butch knows Isaac is faster, and maybe it's a little smarter to just slot in line and see if you can learn anything because Isaac is on the move. As we've got trouble in the back here. Trouble in the back. Randall Dixon. Let's see here. Let's go on board here with him. Let's see what it looks like. Oh, wow. Big pile up already in front of him. Big pile up already in front of him. Let's see if I can see it. Kelly Wheeler here. Oh yeah, just a big checkup up front, nowhere to go, and Halter ends up being the one that really pays for it. I imagine Kelly did too. He probably lost all his positions there. Tough break for those two as they were running in the top, pretty much top 5 all race. Tough break. Just a little over halfway here, though. Plenty of time for those guys to go in and get that quick repair and be able to come out and, you know, at least get their way back up into the top 10 with the way some of those guys can drive. So definitely not time to give up, but the frustration can set in. Just got to try to work it off. As we get ready to go green here, Isaac
Green,
Salas,
green, green.
hammer down. Great start for Butch Baker, almost like he knew when he was going to go there. But Schatzer gets a big run there in the middle of 1 and 2, makes up a little bit of time on Butch. As you can see, that's where Isaac really made up time on Butch when he was in second. He really pulls away though. Maybe Butch is just a little too heavy on the throttle. Kurt's going to look to throw the slider. He thinks there's a big enough gap. He's not going to be able to park it in there. I think he's going to have to take one out of Isaac's book and maybe go for it in 3 and 4. I think there's just a little more room to do things down there. Brandon Dittmer gets into the outside fence. Does a good job of hanging on to it, though, really trying to make his way back up, up into the top 5. Patrick Spangler down there on the bottom trying to get by him. Right now up 16 positions. Up to 7. Very impressive by Patrick Spangler, but been able to survive the mayhem and work his way on up here. Let's go back up to the lead here. Butch Baker just not really able to put a dent in Isaac. Isaac kind of has his own little thing. But he is right up there on the edge as a caution comes out. Maybe Gary Offit. Let's take a look here. Oh yeah, and you know those cars look identical. That's maybe another team Discord that's not going to be a lot of fun to be in there. Tough deal for Gary Offit, kind of just minding his own business up there on the high side. Right now, I think if you're Butch Baker too, you're really shaking your head. He almost had, you know, don't want to say second lockdown, but like a half second gap on 3rd place. This really isn't what he wanted to see. It doesn't really seem like he's got much for your leader, Isaac Salas. So guarantee you he's just, you know, racing for second here, really trying to hold on. And it seems like he has that car, so he doesn't want to keep giving the guy in 3rd these chances, Kurt Schatzer, to get him on a restart, because all it takes is one wheel spin on a restart, you know, and Kurt beat him to the start-finish line with a quick caution, and then Kurt's got second. So Butch is not wanting this right. When we get the green flag, I think we're going to have 7 laps to go, so hopefully we can keep her green flag here and run her out as they get ready. The lights are off on the pace car, and it should be going green this time out.
Green flag, green flag.
Isaac Salas with another good restart. Butch Baker right there with him. Able to get a decent gap there on Kurt Schatzer up to like a 3/10 gap. Hopefully going to try to work that in here. Brandon Templeton looking on Michael Vitale on the bottom. Not happy with 5th place. Really looking for 4th. He's got a lot of heat behind him. With Brandon Dittmer and Patrick Spangler too, so he knows he has to go. He's got the 2 biggest movers right behind him. No time to waste. Oh, and you saw it live. Brandon Templeton gets a little sideways. That may
Yellow
end up.
flag is out.
Oh no, we're gonna have a caution. That's gonna save him. Caution is out. Let's see, and I think it may be Greg Conway here. Let's take a look here. Oh, yep, just up over the edge, lost control, close enough for iRacing to be mad about it. So that's going to be our caution now. Had a heck of a battle back there going on for fifth, but I think definitely your big winner there, we were watching it live, Brandon Templeton, because when he got a little sideways there, I don't think he was going to be able to slot back up in 1 and 2, and you did not want to get stuck on the bottom right now. Everybody who's trying to make a pass on the bottom is having a really, really tough time, so that is not where you want to be. I believe, yeah, pace lights are off, so you're getting the 1 to go here. You should have, I believe, 1 to green, 5 to go whenever we get the green flags. Isaac is really hoping this thing just stays green. Butch is hoping Isaac counts the start down for him so we can get a good start over Kurt and just hold on to second, because other than the first lap of the race, that's going to be the damper on that team. They're going to be really happy with a 1-2, but they're going to wonder the what if they could have had 1-2, that's for sure.
Green flag, green flag.
Butch with a really good jump on Isaac. Dude. It's almost like he maybe thought about throwing a slider there, but now Kurt's going to look there for second place. Almost looked like a little contact with Butch Baker as they enter turn 3. Able to get on the binders, no contact. Everyone straightened it out, and Kurt Schatz is still in third place, but they're 3 wide for fourth in the middle of 1 and 2. Is Brandon Templeton trying to look for fourth. Patrick Spangler slided back up top. Kurt Schatzer and Butch Baker make a little contact. It's going to give Michael Vitale a run here. Meanwhile, Patrick Spangler has to get on the binders or he's going to get run over the edge there. But we have 2 to go this time by. Isaac Salas, your leader here, but the battle is for fourth place on the track right now. Michael Vitale trying to hold off Brandon Templeton and Patrick Spangler. Patrick's trying to go higher than Vitale. Brandon's trying to go lower as we get the white flag. Brandon and Patrick make a little contact on the front stretch. But going down the back stretch, the number 5 car, Isaac Salas, one of the fastest cars we have out here weekly in the 358s, dominates another showing and gets another win here to go back-to-back in your 358 modifieds. Bring up your results here. Butch Baker, Kurt Schatzer, Michael Vitale, and Patrick Spangler are going to round out the top 5. Excellent, excellent job. Excellent racing tonight by those guys. Good, clean racing up in the front. Just a little accident with teammates, but I'm sure we'll find out about that here when we get them up in the Discord. Alrighty. After all that action, I'm going to bring up your third place finisher, Kurt Schatzer. There we go. Finally able to bring up Kurt. Well, Kurt, you had a lot of action there. You know, we were watching the battle for third and fourth there. At one point, it seemed like somebody hit you with a slider. And, you know, you did a good job of hanging on to that and not wrecking, and you were able to hold on to third place. Tell us a little bit about it.
Oh yeah, that came out of nowhere. Was not expecting that there. I think I was racing with Vitaly, and then next thing you know, I seen a black car slide in on me. But it was an interesting race, exciting up front there with Isaac and Butch up there. I mean, I felt like I had a fast car. I mean, I just couldn't really find a way to get around Butch, but gotta congratulate Isaac on that win. He knew how to get the job done, and I'm happy with the podium.
Yeah, I mean, to finish behind two teammates, that's not bad. And, as well as I do, I talked a little bit about it during the race. It's really hard to make that pass get done on the bottom. And if you don't have a teammate who you're racing with who's going to let you slot in line, it's even harder. So you did a good job
Yeah.
tonight, Kurt. And you got anybody you want to thank on the third place finish?
Yeah, I got to thank Jay with Dirt Track Bank and everything they do to help our team and racers all around the country. The team there, Hammer Down Racing, Brian Dickens and uh, Brandon Templeton and Joe Halter. I was glad to see the old man Joe come out there and get a race in with us. And Got Your Six Racing Network, Friday Night Lights. You coming out and doing the broadcast did a pretty good job there. We liked seeing that. And yeah, Roger Preston, let's place the race.
Well, thanks, Kurt. I really appreciate that. And congratulations. You're going to be running the big block race here next?
I think I want to skip out on that one, go up there and put the kid to bed, and try to get back for the late models.
All righty, man. Well, hey, hopefully I see you in Victory Lane here in the late models.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
That's Kurt Schatzer in the 218, finishing third place tonight. Let's go ahead and bring up your second place finisher there, Butch Baker. Butch, Zach up in the booth, man. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Pretty good, man. Well, you started on the front row, finished in on the front row. You did pretty good there, but I know it was probably quiet there in that Discord a little bit, but can you talk to us a little bit about that first lap?
Yeah. I wanted to stay right on Brian's outside, and I didn't think he was going to come up that much, and I figured we'd come out of two together, right side by side, and just kind of sorted out when we got to 3 and 4. But he came up a little bit more than I thought, and he probably thought that he had a little bit more room, and he was apologizing to me, and I was like, nah. I said I could have gave you a little more room, but I mean, we're teammates, and at the end of the day, we still support each other. And he supported me the whole rest of the race, and which he's an awesome guy like that. So I got to give big props to Brian Lawson for that.
Yeah, no, Lord knows that. I mean, everybody in your Discord I've probably wrecked at least once, but Brian is a great guy, and anytime I've
Yes,
ever
sir.
accidentally done anything to him, he's great about it. He's one of them. He doesn't kill you, and
Yep.
definitely, I think though he may have been right to apologize to you tonight because I said the same thing on the broadcast. You weren't obligated to let him up there. I think you did the right thing by holding your line and going and trying to hold off this man in the '05 and trying to get a win.
Yeah. He's not an easy man to hold off. I was just happy to stay ahead of him there for a little bit, and he could have. There was a few times he could have easily slid up in front of me, and then I even told him, I said I would have cut back down under you, but then we might have give Kurt a chance to get by both of us. So we just tried to race smart and race hard and have fun and help each other out, and we both ended up on the podium, so everything worked out.
Yeah, man, that's exactly what you got to do, and you guys did a good job sealing the deal. You got anybody you want to thank on the second place here tonight?
Oh yeah, I got to thank all my teammates over at Venom Racing. Big shout out to Dean and Super Dirt Car Series, Magnum Race Design. You guys in the broadcast, everybody at C2C, from Roger all the way to everybody that does the reviews. Everybody behind the scenes, and huge shout out to my wife that lets me do this.
Yeah, man, can't forget to shout out the old lady. I got to do the same. They're the most important. Without them, we can't do this. So,
That's right.
congratulations on
That's
your
right.
second place, Butch. And you gonna run the big block here next?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'll be out there.
All right, man. Hopefully you get up here again, and I'm talking to you again.
Yeah, that'd be pretty sweet.
All right, guys. Butch Baker in the '97. Congratulations on your second place finish.
Thank you, sir.
Let's go ahead and bring up Isaac Salas here. Well, here he is, ladies and gentlemen, able to get it done 2 weeks in a row. your current points leader in the 05, Isaac Salas. Talk to us a little bit about the race.
It was good, man. I didn't win last week, but I'm glad you think so.
Oh, I thought you were the points leader with 100 points. I must have looked at the big block race.
Yes, sir. I did win that one.
Okay.
But no.
I
It was
looked at the wrong points, so I've been lying to people all night, Isaac.
Oh, jeez. Well, I mean, I win. I think I might be the points leader now. That'd be kind of cool.
Well, hopefully you are now.
But yeah, the race was fun, man. It was a fun battle up. First lap kind of sucked to see those two get into it, but the rest of it was good racing with Butch and trying to respectfully get around him without parking it on his nose. So that's it's always fun to get to race a teammate hard for a win.
No, yeah, for sure. You did a good job of racing him hard, racing him clean. He talked about it a little bit, and so did I on the broadcast. There were a couple times where it looked like, you maybe could have thrown the slider, but you did the smart thing. And like he mentioned, you didn't want to get Kurt Schatzer involved in that race. You guys did a good job of making it a 1-2 thing. And as well as I do, when you and as fast as all your teammates are, accidents are going to happen. And if you guys are wrecking each other up front, that's a little better than wrecking each other in the back.
Oh, for sure. I mean, that, just being in the position it's not the greatest thing, but being in the position to be both at the front, and if an incident happens at the front's a little bit better I think the wounds heal a little bit faster.
Yeah, for sure, man. But congratulations on your first place finish tonight. Who you want to thank here?
Yeah, well, big old thank you to all those guys over at Venom. I mean, it's pretty supportive group over there. No matter if it was after that little incident or someone was in a caution, or still support the crap out of each other. Dean and the Super Dirt Car Series for basically the unwavering sponsorship at this point. It's pretty awesome. Maiden Race Designs, Got Your 6 Racing Network, RSN Trackside, and I think they're actually broadcasting the 350, or they're the sponsor of this. So big double thank you to them. Mission 22, everything they do for our veterans. My Gramps with Top Notch Trucking. Everybody here in Coast to Coast. Thank you, Zach. I'm excited to listen to you broadcast for once alone. I actually didn't get to watch the last one, so it'll be pretty cool to get to watch a full one of just you.
Well, hopefully it isn't too cringy. I couldn't figure out how to change the standings thing. I'm gonna need Marty in intermission probably. It says you were racing at Weed Sport all night. But
Oh, jeez. Well, I mean, I drove one great race at Weed Sport. No. But yeah, no. But other than that, I just thanks to my friends and family. I know my girlfriend's watching, so thank you to her. And yeah, I think that about got everybody.
Well, hey man, I'm sure you'll be back for this big block race, right?
I hope so.
Alrighty, man.
Plan, man.
Get your butt back up here. Hopefully we're talking to you again tonight, and congratulations on the win.
Awesome. Thank you, Zach.
And that's Isaac Salas in the 05. We're going to go take a quick intermission here, and we'll be back with the 358s and the big blocks here at Lernerville Super Speedway. Okay. All right, I'm loading it up. I'm sorry. I'm going as quick as I can. All right, we're good.
it's time for another edition of RSN Trackside, powered by Bob Johnson Auto Group on Rock Sports Network. Gets on the champion, trying to be a bit of a hiatus, so let's get... Tonight we'll be talking about it.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our weekly race chat.
Adam Ross and Clinton Jeffrey are live and interactive every Tuesday night. Rivals Race Chat is your home for race discussion, debate, news, interviews, and more. They'll even take your questions and comments live on the air and talk to some of the newsmakers each week. Tune in every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. on GeForce TV.
Alrighty, we are back here live at the Coast to Coast Racing League. I'm Zach Chapman. We're here for race number 2 of the evening. We got the big blocks and the 358s here at Lernerville Super Speedway. Getting the grid here for heat number 1. We've got Scott Rayome starting on the pole, Michael Vitale rounding out row number 1 in the 213. Dylan Kinsey in the 083, Brandon Templeton in the 31. Inside of row number 3, John Hine in the 71. Outside, Greg Parmley in the 4. Rounding out the field in row number 4, Bob DeGood in the 7 and Brian Dickens in the 122. Alrighty, some names to watch out for. Scott Rayome was definitely towards the front in that 444 machine in the small block before he had a little bit of bad luck. Michael Vitale was also up around there in the top 5, and Brandon Templeton was your biggest mover in the 358. So definitely a lot of guys to keep an eye on. John Hine, the professor, hasn't been racing a lot, but I'm trying to get back a little more, so he's another guy to keep an eye on. The field gets ready to take the green flag here.
Green, green, green.
Scott Rayome with a decent start. Probably not as good of a start as he would have wanted, trying to definitely make the slider, but he's got enough room to do so. Michael Vitale with a big run coming out of 2, decides that he doesn't want to look on the bottom and just lifts and stays in line. Meanwhile, Dylan Kinsey's really trying to make the bottom work, but Brandon Templeton getting a lot of speed on the outside in 1 and 2, and John Hines trying to slide in line and follow him. Oh, and Brandon Templeton over the edge, able to keep it going. Did lose a couple spots. Maybe him and Bob DeGood made some contact as he came back on the track, and Bob DeGood really going to pay for that one. Meanwhile, battle up here at the front. Got Michael Vitale trying to get a run on Scott Rayome. Just not much room to pass right now. As you saw, it's kind of hard to get it done on the bottom. You see they are using the bottom, but they're able to float up on exit, and that, you know, helps you keep up speed. They're not really having to cut the motor off and keep it down. They can pick up the gas early and just float up. We should be coming, I believe, here to the white flag. Well, final lap here, Scott Rayome with a big lead over second place Michael Vitale. Dylan Kinsey maybe trying to put himself in a position to throw a slider here for second, but Michael Vitale knows better. He's going to protect. Scott Rayome is going to be your Heat 1 winner followed by Michael Vitale, Dylan Kinsey, and John Hine rounding out your last transfer spot. Starting lineup for heat number 2. Got Randall Dixon in the 011 starting on the pole position. Steven Spies in the 55 rounding out the front row. Logan Wentz in the 118. Starting in third, Samuel Bachman in the 107 rounding out row number 2. Inside row number 3, Trevor Giroux in the 075. And on the outside, Brian Lawson in the 9. Rounding out the field tonight, Patrick Spangler in the 39. Another very good heat race. Awkward seeing Lawson back there in the 6th position. He's normally a great qualifier, as you saw in the 358. He put himself up there and was in contention to win that race. So he's looking for, try to be a big mover here in heat number 2 and try to punch his ticket directly to the feature here.
Green, green, green.
Steven Spies with a good jump on the outside. Dixon not able to get a run and clear him, so Spies is going to be your leader coming out of 2 as we got a battle here for the transfer position. Brian Lawson maybe getting into the back of Trevor Giroux just a little bit. They're 3 wide crossing the line there for your final transfer spot. Excuse me, that was Logan Wentz in the black car. Logan Wentz trying to run the middle there, keep it 3 wide. Patrick Spangler trying to peek his nose into the bottom. Steven Spies is loving seeing all this happen in his rearview mirror. He's able to walk away to a half a second gap right now over your second place car, Randall Dixon. Well, Samuel Bachman, big run on the outside, trying to get, he's got a fender there. We're 3 wide for second going into 1 and 2 with 2 to go, or 3 to go. Just not a lot of room for Trevor Giroux to throw it in there, but Randall Dixon just no grip on the exit there in the center. As you see, he's gone from second to back to 5th in the last couple laps. He's just no man's land there in the middle. Oh, 2 cars go over. Your leader, Steven Spies, and Logan Wentz. 2 cars go over. Steven able to continue. Logan able to continue as well. But now a new leader, Samuel Bachman, right place at the right time. And look at that guy moving himself up from 7th to 5th. Patrick Spangler up 5 spots in the heat. Talk about a gift. And there we go. Merry Christmas, Patrick Spangler. Heat winner is going to be Samuel Bachman. Top 4 are going to be rounding out Patrick Spangler. Oop, they clicked away from me. Sorry, a little slow here. As we go to your starting grid here for heat number 3. Alex Pomerleau starting in first in the 397. On the outside, Jeff Sharp in the 28. Mark Gilbert inside of row 2 in the number 17. Starting outside of him, the 05 of Isaac Salas. Inside of row number 3, the 513 of Jeff Barker. On the outside of him, the 78 of Jack Clevenger. Rounding out your field in the 140 is the 146 of Jason Coffey. Lots of good drivers in this heat as well. This C2C is kind of stacked in the mod division, to tell you the truth. We're a little bit weaker at some things, you know, we'll openly admit that, driving talent, but man, these mods, some of the best, and you're about to see it right now. Here is Alex Pomerleau gets ready to lead the field here to the green flag. Better jump by Alex Pomerleau on the bottom. Not able to get enough momentum, though, so far to clear Jeff Sharp, but he's going to do it anyway. Jeff maybe got a little squirrely or left off the gas. He's going over the edge there. Isaac Salas, big beneficiary there, really looking for second, and I think he's going to be able to get it with a big run as they're battling each other. Mark Gilbert and Jeff Barker real hard on the bottom there. 4 wide for a second as Alex Pomerleau goes over, and Isaac Salas inherits the lead. We've got a new leader. You see how dangerous this track is tonight. The last 2 heats, the leader has gone over. It's if you want to go fast, you got to be right up there on the edge, and I think Isaac knows right now he's maybe doesn't need to do it. He's going to try to play it safe and not go up there unless he really has to. But, boy, Jeff Barker is impressing me with this car on the bottom. He is not letting Isaac get away. Meanwhile, Jack Clevenger, 4th place in your last transfer position. Big run into 3 and 4. Gets real close to going over the edge. Trying to use all that track he can as he goes for the crossover. Gets into Mark Gilbert. Now he's down in the infield. Alex Pomerleau, big beneficiary of this, starting to reel him back in as we're coming to the white flag this time by. Isaac Salas barely leads Jeff Barker to the line. Barker's really giving it all he can. Isaac Salas may need to go up and ride the rim here to really get momentum. Jeff Barker, let's see what he can do. He's really going for it. Jeff Barker's going to beat him to the line. Jeff Barker, heat race number 3 winner. Wow, what a race to the line. Well, let's go ahead and bring up your starting grid here for heat race number 4. Starting on the inside, row 1 in the 110 is in the 110, Kelly Wheeler. Outside of him in the 007, Michael Vecchio. Row 2, Jason Butterfield in the 93, Anthony Morano in the 32. Row number 3, Dean Reynolds in the 79 and the 97 of Butch Baker. Rounding out the field is the 94 of Gary Offit. Another. I know I sound like a broken record, but man, the names we keep getting. Dean Reynolds is another one who we weren't blessed with seeing in the 358, but boy, has he really gotten a hold of these. Anthony Morano in that 32. There's a reason he's starting 4th. He's a great qualifier. They invert the field. So look for guys like that to make a charge here as the green flag is getting ready to come out. Kelly Wheeler's not the best start for Michael Vecchio up there. Kind of already having to battle for his 2nd position. Meanwhile, Anthony Morano blinking a little bit up top. Oh, big run for Anthony, and he gets, nowhere to go. There's nowhere to go when you're Anthony in that situation. You either take yourself off like he did, or you run the guy over, and that was a great driver's move there by Anthony. He was put in a real tough position, but meanwhile, battle for the lead. Jason Butterfield's looking. I think he was maybe watching Jeff Barker. He saw how he was getting that bottom to work. But nobody, I don't know if they're afraid of maybe going over. There's not much of a cushion up there left. But nobody is really running that extreme high side. Meanwhile, Dean Reynolds on the bottom 3 wide, but Butch Baker going over the edge. Dean Reynolds went 2 for 1 there. Going to move himself up into the 3rd position. Him and Jason Butterfield up 2 spots each. Jason Butterfield being the leader. Kelly Wheeler, though, is not letting him out of his sight, really hanging out. As we're at 2 to go. Kelly Wheeler is starting to get runs here and there, but just I don't know if he's going to have enough to do it here as they get ready to take the white flag. I think when you're exiting in the middle, you just can't get full throttle quick enough. There's too much slick. You know, if you're not willing to risk putting that right rear up there, you're really not going to gain ground. Jason Butterfield, his last turns through 3 and 4, are going to be your winner of heat race number 4, followed by Kelly Wheeler in the 110, Dean Reynolds in the 79, and in your 4th and final transfer position, Michael Vecchio in the 007. All right, let's bring up your grid for the B main here. Your front row, Greg Parmley in the 4. Outside, Brian Lawson in the number 9. Inside row number 2, the 397 of Alex Pomerleau, followed by the 94 of Gary Offit. Then we've got Steven Spees and Brandon Templeton in row number 3. Anthony Morano and Jeff Sharp in row number 4. Logan Wentz and Bob DeGood in row number 5. Butch Baker and Jason Coffey in row number 6. And rounding out the field tonight is Brian Dickens. See, should be going 8 laps here tonight. Should be taking 8 from here. It was the same as last time. We had a couple cars not show the last time though, but we did have all 13 I'm seeing show up in grid. So we are going to send 5 cars home. Definitely want to keep an eye on this. We'll show your leaders a little bit, but we'll definitely want to keep an eye on this 8th position of Anthony Morano. He's going to be your last transfer spot as we start this race here. Oh, getting in the fence a little bit. Oh, little contact before the race even starts. Gotta wonder if maybe he's had some wheel issues or if he just climbed the wall for some reason, but that is not what these guys are looking for, that's for sure. Tough start. Hopefully he didn't damage the right front. These damage models are sensitive. As Greg Parmley gets ready to lead the field to the green flag here. Green is out. Good start for Brian Lawson up top as he pulls even there going into 1 and 2. Going to be able to get a big run there in the center off, and he's going to be your leader. Meanwhile, contact Brandon Templeton. And Brandon Templeton is around, able to keep it going, but really going to cost him a lot of time. As you see, 13th to 12th is that far. I mean, he's about to go a lap down. Brandon Templeton, unless something seriously happens here, that may have cost him. But we're looking at the 8th position here. The 97 of Butch Baker. Him and Jeff Sharp are really having a battle in that white 28. Jeff Sharp throwing it in there, getting in the grass. Almost going up there and getting into Anthony Morano, but able to get on the binders and hold on. And Anthony Morano, a little contact there with the 94 of Gary Offit. Man, they are battling hard. Jeff Sharp now is your new bubble leader there in 8th, but he doesn't want to sit there in 8th. He's trying to get 2 guys at once, trying to go up to 6th here. That's the battle for 6th, 7th, and 8th. Up front, a little contact. Looks like Steven Spees and Alex Pomerleau maybe. Not too sure what happened there, but that really bunts him up. Anthony Morano gets sideways. Oh, and that causes a huge chain. Really going to cost Jeff Sharp and Butch Baker. That's almost going to put them out of it. Brandon Templeton, meanwhile, he's still putting around back there, but just not enough, or he's not close enough to be able to do anything on that. Anthony Morano, it did look like he was going to be hurt much more than that, able to hold on to 8th place. So now, yeah, the battle for 9th, but that is not going to get you in the transfer as we have somebody around. Jeff Sharp around in the back. We go back to 8th. Anthony Morano with a big gap here coming to the white flag. Will go up to your leader, Brian Lawson. Lawson cleared him there going into turn 1 and 2 on the high side. The first lap led the whole consi and able to, little contact after. The 8th and final position is going to go to Anthony Morano. So Gary Offit, Jason Coffey, Butch Baker, Brandon Templeton, and Jeff Sharp. Sadly, they're going to have to pack it up and try again another night here as we go to warm-ups here in the big block 358s, and I'll be back with you for the feature. And we are back here live with your feature. Let's read off the starting grid here. Starting on the front row, Scott Riom in the 444 and Samuel Bachman in the 107. Row number 2, 513 of Jeff Barker and the 93 of Jason Butterfield. Row number 3, the 213 of Michael Vitale and the 39 of Patrick Spangler. Row number 4, the 05 of Isaac Salas and the 110 of Kelly Wheeler. Row number 5, the 083 of Dylan Kinsey and the 075 of Trevor Giroux. Row 6, the 78 of Jack Clevenger and the 79 of Dean Reynolds. Row number 7, the 71 of John Hine and the 011 of Randall Dixon. 011 of Randall Dixon. Row number 8, the 17 of Mark Gilbert and the 007 of Michael Vecchio. Row number 9, the 17 of Mike Gilbert and the 9 of Brian Lawson. Row number 10, Brian Dickens and Logan Wentz. Row number 11, Stephen Spees and Bob DeGood. Row number 11, Greg Parmalee and Brian Dickens. And row number 12, Stephen Spees and Bob DeGood. Sorry, ticker started to move on me there. We are set up, though, for a great feature with a lot of action. There's going to be lots of battles throughout the field tonight. And Isaac, as he informed us, was not the points leader of the 358s. Maybe he is now, but this is the race that he won last week. So look for him to maybe continue his bid here. Let's see how he can hook the car up. The track looks pretty long, pretty beat up. So going to have a lot of work to do tonight. Meanwhile, Scott Riom leading him to the green flag. Caution is out. Caution is out. Let's go ahead and see what happened here. Take a look at the 71 of John Hine here. Yeah, it just gets into the 78 of Clevenger a little bit and just a big pile up from there. Know where those guys could really go. Go ahead, let's go on board on that. Just see how fast it happens. Yeah, definitely just, before you know it happens, boom, boom, nowhere for anyone to go. Not too sure what's going on with the ticker, ladies and gentlemen. It's got Scott Riom in 22nd, but he's been the leader up front the whole time, so hopefully that'll change. But Samuel Bachman is actually the red car on the outside there, the 107. He's not your current leader. The current leader, as they are on the track, is Scott Riom. So we'll have to see if that updates or if iRacing maybe fixes that. Definitely going to hope here as we double up there, they're going to get the green flag this time by. Hopefully drivers have settled down and we can get a couple green flag laps in here. Because with the way this track is, it's definitely set up for some good racing. Let's go ahead and let's run the drone cam here. Let's see what it looks like as they fire off here. We got the green flag. Look at them, 4 wide there for 6 that look like in the go on entry, but they fan out as they realize, and maybe there was a problem. Not too sure what happened to Bachman there. Or if that even was the caution, we'll have to see. Let me pull this up here. Seen a couple things happen. Let's go back to Barker. Seen a lot of action on the ticker. No, so he did. He just went up all by himself, and I'm guessing. Oh, no, wrecking on the front stretch. Oh, wow. Jason Butterfield, I believe, up and over. Let's ride on board here. You see, yeah, Bachman just goes over the top, no help. He gets a big run out of the corner, just gets a little sideways. I don't think he got bumped, barrel rolled. Was he able to land on all fours? Yes, he was. Let's see if maybe he can go to the pits and get that thing worked on here. All right, it did finally update there. It's got Scott Rayom up there where he should be. Up there listed in front. We got Jeff Barker in second. Patrick Spangler in third. Vitaly in fourth. And Isaac Salas rounding out fifth there on the bottom in the 5 car. Jeff Barker, real impressive with that heat win. You know, he's hanging out there. Who knows? This could be the 513's night. Go here as they get ready to go green here. Big jump for Rayom. Patrick Spangler with a great jump too, able to clear Barker going into the corner even. Barker got caught sleeping a little bit. It is hard to be that car on the outside and know when to time your restarts. Got action back here. Check it out. 4 wide on exit. Stevens. Speeds on the bottom. Wow, they're 3 wide and no cars up high. Nobody wants to give. Pomerleau does a good job of keeping it down there. Oh, Lawson just goes up there and gets into him. Didn't back out of the start. Did it again. Kind of bulldozing his way through there. And we saw that happen live. No caution. No caution for some reason. Not sure why a caution didn't fly. Tough break there. I'm sure that's possibly going to be looked at throughout the week. But we go back up to the front. Scott Rayom with a nice little lead. Patrick Spangler trying to rip the lip and get up there as high as he can to gain some momentum. Meanwhile, back there in 6th place, Jeff Barker continues to try to work the bottom, but it just looks like as these cars come up to speed, it's just going away. And unless that cushion all but disappears up there, I don't think we're going to have much luck on the bottom tonight other than throwing sliders as Jeff Barker loses another position. But meanwhile, up front, Patrick Spangler is reeling your leader, Scott Rayom, in, and Isaac Salas is starting to put some pressure on Michael Vital there for the 3rd spot as he gets a big run coming out of turn 4, and he's going to try to pinch him down a little bit, not let him throw that slider and clear him off of 2, and Isaac's going to get the job done as he hopes there's no caution. Patrick Spangler looking to maybe cut down, but just not enough grip to do it. Gets big runs in the middle of the corner there on Rayom because Rayom's running a little bit more of a diamond line, whereas Patrick's kind of staying in the throttle longer. He's running up there higher. It's more of a risk. As you see, he gains a lot of time, but he is right on the edge as there's a caution out on the racetrack. Let's see, maybe Logan Wentz. Let's take a look here. Going into turn 3. Oh, yep, just going to lose his footing, step over the edge, and come to a stop there. We're going to have a caution, but that's the exact thing you're supposed to do there. You are not supposed to pull back on the track by any means in front of full-speed cars, so you just got to kind of take your medicine there and deal with it. It's not always fun, but, you know, happens to everybody. I think Scott Rayom, believe it or not, he may like that a little bit because he got a good restart the last time, and it's going to take Patrick a little bit to irk that back in. And as the caution came out, we were live on the leaders. You could see Patrick looked like he was going to throw the slider into 1 and 2. So he definitely had momentum and was thinking about, you know, making the pass. So I think Rayom gets a chance to refresh here and maybe come in with a new game plan. Try to restart somewhere he hasn't before, get a bigger gap. And I don't know if it's worth risking to run the high side and step over yet, but you got to know that the guy behind you is doing it and he's a little faster. So you got to be willing to do it. As the lights are off on the pace car, we should go green this time by. Let's go ahead on this restart. Let's ride on board with our man Isaac Salas here. Let's see what he's got for us on this restart. You see Patrick Spangler, great run on Rayome. And Isaac has a good view of this battle for the lead. Is Patrick going to be able to get it? Rayome with a big run there on the backstretch, but Patrick with enough room to throw the slider. He's going to park it. Rayome looks for the crossover, but just not enough grip. Rayome's really going to have to throw it in there if he wants to throw the slider. Not going to clear him in the middle of 1 and 2. Patrick Spangler going to get the edge here, and he's going to look to run away with it with the way he'd been driving. He knows, though, he's got to stay up on that high side because now the man in the 05 car, Isaac Salas, is going to go to work on Scott. And if we know if he can get the second, he's going to throw everything but the kitchen sink at Patrick. He wants that win bad as we're halfway here. Back here in 11th spot, Alex Pomerleau, your biggest mover, up 7 spots. Looking to try to make the high side work, trying to get by Jeff Barker, who's got to give it to him. You know, he's trying to make the bottom work. It's just not there right now. Isaac Salas, meanwhile, trying to reel him in, but the gap's kind of staying the same, and truthfully, Patrick is not pulling away from Scott either. Scott was maybe saving the tires a little bit, just waiting to go, or as you see now, he is putting it right up there on entry in 3 and 4, not losing as much time anymore to Patrick. Meanwhile, Isaac Salas looking to throw it, just trying to see if that slider has any speed, but you see he gains a lot on entry, but by the end of the backstretch, he's just so far behind. He's lost it all. Let's go back here to Dean Reynolds in 7th place. See, they're all kind of strung out, but these guys are close together. Dean trying to run down Trevor. We got a battle for the 4th position here between Kelly Wheeler and Michael Vitale. Trevor Giroux also keeps trying to look low on Kelly Wheeler every chance he can, but just not enough. Just can't keep the steam up. I mean, every car wants to be up top right now, as Patrick's showing. As you know, we have 9 to go here, or 10 to go. Definitely a long green flag run that we're looking for. Let the guys up front be able to showcase their speed. Patrick Spangler last time by with a 15.96. Last time by for Isaac Salas a 15.94. The only guys in the 15s right now. A couple others close with some low 16s. Isaac Salas fastest lap. Oh, caution is out. And Isaac Salas, right before that, ran his fastest lap of the race at a 15.92. Talk about saving tires. But here we go. Bob to good. Let's see what happened. Oh, Steven Spies went over. Maybe came back on the track. And that's why I said what I said the last time. If you go up there, you got to make sure it's clear. Oh, and he backs down the track. Luckily, nobody there to get him, but that's definitely frustrating for Bob. Tough break for him. Long green flag run there, but truthfully, the track's kind of stringing out. You're seeing people kind of maybe slot where they should be, not really being able to throw a pass. Or if you know, you're a guy like Dean Reynolds and you're within slider range, the guy in front of the guy 2 cars ahead of you is too close for you to throw the slider. So it's real tough. You know, do you risk dropping out of line where he is in 7th place, going for 6th, and possibly losing 3 spots and dropping all the way back to 10th by giving up the top. You're really put in a tough spot there. So the lights are out on the pace car. Should be going green this time by as the pace car does head to pull off. Patrick Spangler, your leader, going as high as he can, looking to really arc off this. And, yeah, pick up speed as he gets in the throttle. Good jump for Patrick Spangler. Isaac Salas right on Scott Riom in 2nd place. Going to try to use, before the motors get up to speed, this is the time you can use the bottom. You got to do it now and try to go in there and park it, Isaac. If not, you got to work your way back up to the top. Just not able to clear it, and I think you're going to see him slot back in line here. That's kind of what the track's dictating right now. Not really much you can do. Let's take a look back here. Trevor Giroux in the 6th position. All over Kelly Wheeler in 5th, but not really anywhere to go in front of him. Michael Vital is right close to Kelly Wheeler, so you can't throw a slider. Another caution is out. Another caution is out. Take a look at the yellow flag here. See if this is maybe what it was. It's saying Patrick Spangler, but I think that may have just been when he slowed down there. Let's see if we can find this. Is it maybe stop and leaving the pits here? Which this is another tough spot. You know, if you leave pit road, you can't pull out in front of the cars. And I think maybe, just a little too slow. And, you see the pace car come out. That's when the caution came out. Tough break. But the guy who does love that is your leader, Patrick Spangler, because you saw the restart he got the last time. So, I mean, if he's anywhere near in the ballpark of that last restart he had, it's going to take 2 or 3 laps to even get up to the bumper. So Patrick's really going to be trying to time that, maybe do something a little different. He's riding around the very bottom right now, maybe thinking about not arcing off the top and putting them in a different spot. He's probably testing out all different parts of the track. Pace car is off as Patrick Spangler leads the field to the green. Like I said, he was testing it out. Didn't want to give him the same restart, and you can't blame him. Yep, start right after that bump. What a restart for Patrick Spangler. Going to get a big gap, and now pretty much just there's a battle for second. As Michael Vital looked low on Isaac Salas there for a second. Oh, Isaac Salas able to throw the slider on Scott. Scott looks to cross him over. Scott's really going to have to be aggressive and park it up there. Like I said the last time, he did. Isaac's going to go for the crossover. Big run for Isaac. Better run than Scott had the last time coming out of 3 and 4. Able to make a lot of room. Not able to throw a full slider, though, because he'd go up there and get into Patrick. But he beats him to the line. Able to pinch him down and prevent the slider. Now it's time 2 to go. Isaac can see if he can try to track down your leader, Patrick Spangler, but he's got a big gap, almost 0.8 of a second. Really walking it out as we come to the white flag. Patrick Spangler going to see if he can get it done. Isaac's going to throw out everything he can, really trying to look for a slider. Your battle for third. Scott Riom holding on to Michael Vitale. Meanwhile, at the front, Patrick Spangler still ripping the lip. Going to be your tonight big block winner here at Lernerville Speedway, Patrick Spangler's hometown. Top 5 are going to be Isaac Salas in 2nd, Scott Riom in 3rd, Michael Vital in 4th, and Dean Reynolds, your biggest mover tonight, up to 5th place in the 79 machine. Let's go ahead and bring up your race results here. And as these guys cycle into Discord, we'll bring your top 3 up for interviews. But treated to a good race there. A lot of a long green flag run. And definitely, they didn't let down. Much better showing than we had in the 358s. I'm going to go ahead and bring up your second place finisher up a while. Hey, Isaac, Zach in the booth, man. You got a copy? Well, hey, man, you got it done there. Fought your way. It took forever. I saw that we were watching that battle there for a second. Tell us a little bit about it. Hey, man, they look good from up here. You definitely looked fast, and you guys throwing them back and forth, clean on each other, doing what you have to do, lift, crossover, and it was a great race to watch, man. You got anybody you want to thank on the second place finish? Of course, man. We gonna see you in the pro lates here? All right, man. Get it done again. Hopefully, I talk to you again. That's Isaac Salas in the 05. Let's bring up Scott Rayom here, your third place finisher. Hey, Scott, Zach in the booth, man. You got a copy? Hey, man. You did a good job up there. You were definitely tough to pass. On the sliders, you were doing a good job crossing over, and you were putting it in the line right there. Did you think if that caution wouldn't have came out that maybe you would have had something for Patrick, or was he kind of on his own tonight? Yeah, dude, I know what you mean. Anytime you can, if I ever am on the podium with Isaac and Patrick, I did something right. So, yeah, that's a good night for you. You got anybody you want to thank on it? Well, thanks, Scott. Congratulations, and hopefully I talk to you again, man. That's Scott Riem, your third place finisher. Going to bring up your winner, Patrick Spangler. Patrick, Zach in the booth, man. You got a copy? Well, dude, took you a little bit to get around Scott, but once you did, you checked out. If you go back and watch it, you were definitely the highest car on the track. You weren't afraid of going over the lip. Tell us a little bit about it. Yeah, yeah, definitely. I was talking about them on the broadcast. It seemed like, nothing against Scott, but you were killing him on restart. So when you got that caution with a couple to go, I kind of figured that sealed the win, and especially when Isaac and him got battling, you had to love hearing that. But we're kind of short on time, so you got anybody you want to thank here on your win, Patrick? Well, cool deal, Patrick. You gonna run the pro lates here next? All right, cool deal, man. Hopefully I get to talk to you again. That's Patrick Spengler in the 39. All right, we're going to go to a quick break here, and we'll be back with your pro late models here next, live on the Coast to Coast Racing Network.
It's time for another edition of RSN Trackside, powered by Bob Johnson Auto Group on Rock Sports Network. Gets on the champion. Trying to be a bit of a hiatus, so let's get.
Right when we talked about it. Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our weekly race chat.
Adam Ross and Clinton Jeffrey are live and interactive every Tuesday night. Rivals Race Chat is your home for race discussion, debate, news, interviews, and more. They'll even take your questions and comments live on the air and talk to some of the newsmakers each week. Tune in every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. on GeForce TV.
Alrighty, we are back live here for your Pro Dirt Late Model Series event, sponsored by Cool Ray here and Extreme Speed eSpeed TV. Sorry about the interviews there. I just realized that I had my Discord audio muted, so I realized you only got to hear me ask them questions. But I can tell you Scott Riom was very excited about being on the podium with those two. Patrick Spangler wanted his hometown track. And Isaac Salas thought it was a little bit of a train race out there. But, you know, you gotta kind of race with what you got sometimes, and everybody knows that track's not always gonna, you know, carry over for the best racing. Sometimes you're gonna have different nights, and as iRacing unveils its newer weather models, it should really be different night in and night out with different moisture levels and things like that going on. But should be good racing here tonight. Got a lot of guys that got to watch out for the front here. Brandon Templeton knows what he's doing for sure. Kurt Schatzer, if he made it back, I think he's in here. If he maybe no, I actually don't see him on the session list, so he must be hanging out with the family a little bit. But he's normally a big name. John Hine, Steven Spies, I mean Patrick Spangler, you name it. Isaac Salas. We're in for a heck of a race here tonight, and don't forget, after this, we have the Xfinity cars tonight at Iowa. So that should be a good one. Last night the truck race went. They had one caution, I believe, early on, and we pretty much ran green flag the whole time. Green flag pit stops. Brady Floyd, I believe, kind of dominated that one. So we'll see if he's around tonight to go for the two-peat here. Let's see if we can't follow somebody on track here. Got Mark Gilbert out here. Right now he's 10th on the time sheet. We've got 21 guys in the session right now, so everyone should make it tonight. No problem. Clevenger, he's 18th on the time sheet. He didn't have much of a track to work with. He just registered for the session. Current best time is a 15.65. Last lap was a 15.35, 0.2 faster than Andy Piercefield, though, your big lap turner tonight, he's got 81 laps, and so he should be ready to roll tonight. Try and change the pulling out of the pits here. Let's see Vital pulling out here. See what kind of laps he's running. He's 6th on the current time sheet right now. Not a whole lot going on out on track right now. Just a couple guys trying to see where it's at. They probably, after that last race they were in, don't want to beat it up too bad because they saw how much they all struggled with passing it. So I imagine the most of them kind of know where the track is and just want to hang out at that for right now. Because if you go out there and put too many laps in, you're one hand it gives you experience, but on the other hand it's, you know, might shoot you in the foot a little bit for if you got to make a pass with 5 or 6 to go in the feature. Mark Gilbert really doing a good job, though, of giving us, or showing us what you need to do there on exit. Really hold the top. Let's go back here. Let's run on board with Alex Pino. See the difference. Really gets that thing sideways, a little more sideways than you want to get it on entry, because you're gonna lose speed. They want to keep it as straight as they can, for sure. Unless, like as you saw Mark there, if he went in and threw it on the bottom and really needs to slam it in there. Let's see who else we got. Retirement. Jack Clevenger really putting it high up there. You see how uncomfortable that looks if you're riding passenger. I mean, you just look out, you know, it's looking over the edge of the building, you hear him rev up. He got a little bit too high there. That's the right rear stepping over the edge, but it's enough that he could save it. Looking like we're rolling into qualifying here. Go ahead and we'll take a look at Patrick Spangler here for you. We'll get a lap in with him. So you're going to see this first lap's all about right now. You know, this lap doesn't count. They're just going up to speed. They're going to run as high as they can, really try to carry a bunch of momentum to that to the straight or to the start-finish line there, and really have your car wound up at full song. Patrick Spangler. Really good, looking really good there through 1 and 2. Even better through 3 and 4. We'll have to see where he's at on the time sheet. It's going to put him second right now. Brandon Templeton right now, your leader, at a 15-1. Oh, he's going to step over. He's going to lose that one. Isaac, right now your second place guy, going to try to give it a shot here on the bottom. See if that's a little faster. And that lap's going to be slower by 0.3 of a second. Mark Gilbert just moving up to 4th place here. Take a look at Kelly Wheeler. Finished. John Hine finished. Let's see here. Andy Piercefield just finishing up. Andy Piercefield, one of the nicest guys you'll ever get to know. Jack Clevenger looks like still turning the lap. That was P13. Throw it in on the bottom. This lap doesn't look like it's going to be much faster, if at all. No, it's not. He's going to stay where he is, 13th. So your top 5, Brandon Templeton, Isaac Salas, Patrick Spangler, Mark Gilbert, and the other one just disappeared. All right, let me give you your grid here for heat number 1. Starting in first, the 175 of Andy Piercefield. On the outside of him, the 075 of Trevor Giroux. The inside of row number 2, the 17 of Mark Gilbert. And the outside, the 31 of Brandon Templeton. Row number 3, we got the 78 of Jack Clevenger and the 97 of Butch Baker. In your last and final row, row number 4, you've got the 71 of John Hines, starting beside the 07 of Mr. Preston Cramner. go ahead. We should be set up for a real good race. Good to see Andy Piercefield back out here. He definitely helps the league out as a sponsor, runs with us as often as he can, and it's awesome that my first night broadcast and I get to call a race with Andy. Lots of good names in this field though, but the definite guy I think you got to watch is that 31 Brandon Templeton. Been fast in almost everything tonight, and you know, had a little bad luck in the 358s. Just, I believe, clung on to a top 5 in the big block, but he's a guy to definitely watch out for. As he was your pole sitter. They invert the top 4, so that's why he's going to be starting in 4th. As the pace car pulls off, Andy Piercefield in the 175, your leader, is going to lead him here to the green flag. Green is out. They fire. Andy with not the best jump in the world. Trevor able to run side by side in there in the 1 and 2 to keep the slider closed. Big run out of turn 2 for Trevor Giroux. He's going to look to take the lead here at the start finish line, but the rear end steps out on him, but he's able to keep it going. Brandon Templeton from 4th to 2nd already. Got to watch out for it. We are 4 wide there for a second. Hold on, boys. Butch Baker loving what he sees, getting to really make up some time on these guys. Meanwhile, Trevor Giroux trying to just walk away out here in the lead, hoping that Andy can just stick it to Brandon and keep the battle going. I think it's time for maybe Andy to try to move up, as Brandon's showing how fast that is, making up a lot of time on Trevor even. I think you're going to try to get a big run here. Oh, it's Trevor Giroux goes over. He goes over, able to bring it back on, but back in the 6th position. Meanwhile, that gives the lead to Brandon Templeton. We do have a battle for 2nd. Andy Piercefield just beats Mark Gilbert to the line, but Mark isn't done yet. Andy Piercefield with a big head of steam going into 3 and 4. Going to try to keep it planted there in the middle, not going to float up here as we take the white flag. Brandon Templeton, your leader, with almost a 2nd lead over your 2nd place car, Andy Piercefield. That's where the action is. Andy's going to throw it in hard to 3 and 4. Going to float it up, and he's going to be able to hold on to 2nd. Your battle for 4th. John Hine edges out for 4th. Wow, what a race to the line there. Let's check that out. Let's go back and look at that quick. Oh, no, it got rid of it on me. Well, we tried. With John Hine barely edging him out at the line. Great race. Having trouble bringing it to live. I'm going to show you my iRacing cheat screen here. I'm going to bring it to live myself the old-fashioned way. All right, sorry about that. Sorry about the technical difficulties. I think when I clicked out of that, it got me into some trouble that I didn't know how to fix. So your starting lineup here real quick. The Steven Spees at 55, and Brian Dickens in the 122. Then you got Isaac Salas and Dean Reynolds, Alex Pomerleau and Greg Parmalee, followed by Gary Offit in the 94 here as we get the green flag. Steven Spees with a great jump, one of the better jumps we've seen on the inside. Going to be able to do whatever he wants going into 1 and 2. Brian Dickens getting a big run, though, out of 2. Able to get in front of Dean Reynolds. A little contact, though, between Dean and Isaac. Isaac Salas really trying to go in there, but now, oh! Isaac was moving up a little bit. Alex tried to keep the pass going, but didn't realize there was a car on his outside, and that's going to cost Greg Parmalee and Gary Offit big time as Gary Offit goes back to the pits. Meanwhile, up front, Steven Spees, though, kind of doing what he wants in this race, pulling away up to over half a second. Did look like we had a little battle there for a second there for 2nd place. Dean Reynolds had a big run, but it looked like he lost it on exit. Now Isaac Salas is all over him for the 3rd position here with 3 to go. Isaac Salas really trying to eat the top. Trying to get a big run on Dean. Maybe going to think about throwing a slider. Not going to be able to as he goes over the bumps there. Just barely able to keep it on the track. Meanwhile, Steven Spees, the gap staying about the same, keeping it at a half second. He's not running it too aggressive, keeping it in the middle of the track and making sure he doesn't step over the edge here as we get the white flag. Dean Reynolds in the middle of a sandwich. It's looking like this top 4 spots are going to stay the way they are. And as I say that, Isaac throws a big move, but he can't clear it. Steven Spees, Brian Dickens, Dean Reynolds, and Isaac Salas, your top 4. And now heat number 3, your grid here. We've got row number 1, we've got the 9 of Brian Lawson and the 213 of Michael Vitale. Row number 2, we have the 83 of Brandon Dittmer and the 39 of Patrick Spengler. Row number 5, we have the 118 of Logan Wentz and the 110 of Kelly Wheeler. And last but not least, in row number 4, we've got Anthony Morano in the 32. Now Morano, he's one of those guys who, you know, I talked up in the big block and small block race. He's almost always has a nose for the front. He's one of the faster guys we have in sprint cars, modifieds, it doesn't matter. He's just one of those guys that knows how to get it done. So hopefully Anthony can advance his way up through the field here after a rough qualifying spot. But Brian Lawson here, your leader, getting ready to bring him to the green flag here of heat number 3. Not your best start there for Brian as Michael Vitale is able to pull side by side into 1 and 2. And as you've seen, pulling beside, you know, that's the battle right there. As you see, Brian lost 2 spots. You need to be able to clear that guy. You can't pinch yourself down or else you just don't have the speed. Now Patrick is going much higher than Michael, really looking to try to get a run. You got to think that if Michael starts to hear Patrick get closer, he's going to move up and try to block that high line. I think that's where you want to be. Meanwhile, you got Logan Wentz trying to get in your 4th and final transfer spot, but he's got Anthony Morano on the outside of him. So you try to look low and, you know, you get yourself in trouble as Anthony Morano 7th to 5th in a couple laps here, looking to get on Brandon Dittmer for your 4th and final transfer spot. But Patrick Spengler is closing in on your leader, Michael Vitale. Got the lead down to 0.2 of a second. Really putting the car up high in the middle of the corner and not losing as much speed as he gets a big run. He shuts the door, Michael does, but Patrick throws the slider. Got plenty of room. Michael's looking for the crossover. He's got momentum, and he's going to be able to throw it here, but he doesn't throw it. He gives Patrick a lane, and that's going to let Patrick lead lap to the white flag. White flag out here. Anthony Morano just got around Brandon Dittmer with a little... Oh, Brandon Dittmer over the edge. That was the problem. Anthony Morano up to 4th, but Patrick Spengler going to be your heat race number 3 winner. Up 3 spots. Your top 4, Michael Vitale in 2nd, Brian Lawson in 3rd, and Anthony Morano in your 4th and final transfer spot. Going to take a quick break here, go to warm-ups. We'll be back with you for the feature. And we are back here live, bringing you the end of warm-ups here. Brandon Templeton at the top of the timesheets with a 15.23. John Hine in P2 with a 15.42. So Brandon Templeton, a significantly fast lap he had out there, but it seems like times are cooling down. In the recent, everybody's pretty much in the 15s. Right as I say that, Brandon runs a 15.35, and Trevor Giroux actually to second on the timesheet with a 15.34. Mark Gilbert to third with a 15.42. Times are picking up. And that means we should be in for some great racing if just towards the end of warm-ups, they're starting to figure out the track a little bit and they're picking up speed. Should be a good night of action for us here. Let's bring up your starting grid here. Starting on the front row, the 31 of Brandon Templeton and the 55 of Steven Spees. Row number 2, the 39 of Patrick Spangler and the 175 of Andy Piercefield. Row number 4, the 122 of Brian Dickens and row number 3, the 122 of Brian Dickens and the 213 of Michael Vitale. Row number 4, the 78 of Jack Clevenger and the 79 of Dean Reynolds. Row number 5, the 9 of Brian Lawson and the 71 of John Hine. Row number 6, the 05 of Isaac Salas and the 32 of Anthony Morano. Row number 7, the 17 of Mark Gilbert and the 118 of Logan Wentz. Rounding out the field, I'll just give you quick positions here. We got Brandon Dittmer in the 83, Gary Offit in the 94, Greg Parmalee in the 4, Trevor Giroux in the 075, Kelly Wheeler in the 110, and Preston Cramner in the 075. Let's go. I'm going to bring up iRacing again. I didn't like the sound of that. I just want to make sure we're 100% live. Okay, we are. We got 30 laps, though, tonight. A lot of big names in this field, like I say, but I think your main guy to watch there has to be B-Temp. He's in that 31. Starting up front, he's going to be one of the guys to look at. But you can't count out the 55 of Steven Spees, somebody like that, working his way up through the field. He loves the late models, John Hine as well. So let's keep our eyes peeled. We're going to have a lot of big battles here as Patrick Spangler gets ready to take him to the green flag. Good start for Andy Piercefield up top. Able to kind of keep pace, but not enough to not let Templeton, that was Templeton, not Spangler. They have almost identical cars. He led him to the green, but not able to hold Templeton down there. But Patrick, meanwhile, looking on the bottom on Brandon Templeton. Not able to clear Andy, though, as Andy's able to run him in hard there. 3 wide for third place. Brian Dickens on the bottom. Michael Vitale, the meat and the sandwich. Oh, look at them span 3 wide all the way through the back of the field here. Let's go check out Brian Lawson in the Hornets nest down here behind his teammate Isaac Salas in the 5. Coming up beside Brandon Dittmer in the 83. Alex Pomerleau maybe with a little hello to him. Going in the corners. They're 3 wide on exit. Isaac and Brandon get together. Meanwhile, Patrick Spangler pulls away out front, out to an 8/10 of a second lead over Brandon Templeton. Brandon Templeton has Andy Piercefield all over him, but we have a caution. Let's go ahead and see what happened here. Oh, pile up in front with the 94. See if I can't get us a better view of this. All right, we're watching Gary Offit here in the 94. We're seeing them all sorts of stuff happen in front of him. Oh, yep, just got a car. Logan Wentz, I believe, got caught up there. We're in Offit with nowhere to go, just slams in the back of him. We're going to have our first caution of the evening. Spotter, I guess they maybe extended the green there. Sorry if you heard that. I thought I had the spotter off, but it seems like you could hear it there. So they're going to hold him up for one more lap here, it looks like. Here they're lining up double file here. Should be going green this time by as the pace lights are off. Brandon Templeton's going to be on the bottom here as your leader. Patrick Spangler chose the top. It's saying Greg Parmalee's the leader, but once again, I think the grid just having a little trouble with Lernerville tonight. It sinks out here as we get going, but Patrick Spangler's your current leader in the 39. So the green flag is out. Patrick Spangler fires. Great restart. Able to easily clear Templeton, and Templeton's probably not mad about that because Vital was not able to get high, and Brandon's able to just slot right back into second place. Meanwhile, Andy Piercefield getting tagged from behind with a 78 of Jack Clevenger, but we do have another caution. You know what they say, cautions breed cautions. Let's see what we got here. All right, we're on board with Mark Gilbert here. Let's see if we can find this. Looking low. He's under the 55. Oh, contact in front and just nowhere to go. Nowhere to go. That happens with these things. They're so quick and they stack up so fast. Meanwhile, Patrick Spangler, you can't tell if he loves or hates it. Can't really, nobody has a chance to pass him. But then again, it doesn't give him a chance to get into his rhythm. And you saw in that big block race, once he gets into a rhythm and can start running that high side, he's really tough to beat. I mean, everybody wants the high side here. And it's one thing to catch a guy. It's another thing to pass him. And Patrick's one of the best at catching and passing. So it's even harder to pass him when he's as good as he is up there. But we're going to see Brandon Templeton really try to give it his all. Andy Piercefield going to try to get a good restart here as well. Maybe try to take second away from Brandon. Green flag is out. Patrick Spangler with another great restart. Brandon Templeton, though, easily can slot up into second in front of Andy Piercefield. Andy Piercefield looks a little squirrely getting back on the gas, but able to plug away and get back into third place. Oh, contact there. Oh, big one. Big one. I believe we saw it happen there live. Let's go back and take a look at this. It's right on board with Michael Vital. Yeah, just gets turned from behind, it looked like, by maybe the 78. Let's look one more time here. It's right off the back bumper here. Yep. I mean, that kind of tells the story there. Got help from behind. Tough. It wadded up a lot of good cars there, but that's going to happen. Big benefit, though, of that is kind of Trevor Giroux. He's up a lot of spots, so he's definitely maneuvering his way through these wrecks. See where he's at, Trevor Giroux. Yeah, it's gonna have him in 7th or 6th place here, up 13 spots. So big mover for him. Brandon Dittmer, also another big mover in the 8th position in your 83 car. He's up 10 spots. Should be getting the 1 to go this time by. The lights are off. Pace car will be pulling off here at the end of the backstretch as Patrick Spangler gets ready to lead him here to another green flag. Let's ride on board Brandon Templeton. Let's see if he can hang on to it at the single file restart. He looks for it there. Just not enough speed to get it done. Let's go back here and check out the battle for 5th with Jack Clevenger and Trevor Giroux. Jack Clevenger coming up on Brian Dickens real fast. He's going to be able to easily beat him. You just don't want to be stuck on the bottom right now. The leaders are showing you that. I think it's almost a case of, hate to say it, but you want to follow the leader, and if you get a big run, and you think about throwing sliders back and forth, but you need room to even be able to do that. Let's take a look back here at 10th, Isaac Salas. Probably not as comfortable as he'd like to be, just running the middle. You're going to have a little more speed up high, but he sees Brandon Dittmer in front of him. He knows he can't do it, so he's got to make something else work. Back up front here, Patrick Spangler extending the lead a little bit, got it up to half a second now on B-Temp. Brandon Templeton's really experimenting, trying to run the bottom. He makes up time in the middle of the corner, but it's all lost there on exit. He lost 2/10 just that corner alone. Andy Piercefield's doing a good job of running the top and really trying to keep the pressure on him. Brandon Dittmer, though, he crashed. Let's see if he can get back on the track without coming to a stop. Nah, just a little too slow there. Let's go back and let's see what took Brandon off the track here. So somehow he just went over going down the backstretch at some point. Couldn't bring it back on there in front of the leaders, so he did what you do what you got to do at that point. You can see he doesn't come to a complete stop intentionally. I mean, he goes slow. It's just kind of never even stops moving, just kind of one of those iRacing things for you. Meanwhile, back up front, almost at the halfway point, your leader, Patrick Spangler, he's finally got to get into a little bit of a rhythm there, and you saw it kept the gap at about half a second. At the point you're at, you're not going to be too aggressive. He's not going to try to run the top like he's trying to run someone down. He's going to leave a little bit of a gap there to give himself cushion, but he's doing a good enough job of holding Brandon Templeton back and keeping the fight down. And hats off to this guy in the 175. Andy Piercefield, strong showing for him. Here in the 175, Trevor Giroux in the 075. He's up 14 spots now. He's up into the top 5. That's very impressive after starting 19th. Lights are going to be off, though, this time by. So we'll be going green here as the pace car pulls off, heading down the backstretch. Patrick Spangler. Let's go with the Chapman Racing drone here. Let's get a good look of Spangler on this restart, see if he can get a gap. He does get a good restart. As you see the guy in third there, Andy Piercefield, great restart, but lost a little bit of it on the straightaway. But he had a great jump with the leader, fired right with the leader. Battle is on for third, though, as Jack Clevenger looks to make a move on Andy Piercefield. Tries to go low, hits that bump a little bit. You see it turn the car. And, I mean, you got to get out of the gas. If you don't hop out of the gas, you're going to go around. And Jack Clevenger, he did the smart thing, hopped out of the gas, hung on to fourth. Meanwhile, Patrick Spangler, though, just gnawing it, just pulling away. Up to 6/10 in 2 laps. He's just being consistent, hugging the top, running higher than Templeton, and just doing his job. Brandon was, previous to the last caution, trying to move up high a little bit to make up some time, but he's gone down to that middle. He might feel a little bit more comfortable there and maybe is happy with the second place, as now he shoots for the bottom. Let's go back here and check out a battle for 9th place. Butch Baker getting a big run on Isaac Salas. Does he think about throwing the slider? No, he stays in line. Live to fight another day. As you see that pack of Hornets, that Hornets nest in front of you. John Hine in the middle of that. He's up in your 6th spot. Really trying to put the pressure on Jack Clevenger here. Looking high. Can he carry momentum and beat Clevenger to the line? looks like he's got a good chance. He's going to edge out 5th place at the line. John Hine up to 5th. Back up to your leader, though, Patrick Spangler. Over a second gap now, 2.5. He's just walking away. All he needs to do is be smooth. The real pressure here is for 3rd. Brandon Templeton has 2nd all to himself, but Andy Piercefield has a gaggle behind him, and John Hine is hungry there in that 5th position. He's got to try to find a way past both of those guys, though. Clearly is very fast right now. Trevor Giroux, fast as well. Your biggest mover, up 15 spots. But it's just so tough to get around Andy. Andy's doing a good job of putting the car where he needs to be. And Trevor Giroux looking for the slider. Andy Piercefield's going to cross him over. Andy's going to beat him to the line. And that beating him to the line, that's going to be very big as we have a caution out on the track. Alex Pomerleau, I believe. Let's check this out. Let's ride on board with Alex. Well, just went over the edge. We saw it in warm-ups. You know, you lose that right rear over the edge, it goes quick, and that's all it takes for a caution here. Well, boy, the battle was just heating up there for 3rd. Trevor Giroux and Andy Piercefield throwing haymakers at each other. Right as the caution came out, Andy beat him to the line and was able to secure 3rd place. So when we get the green flag here, we should have 7 laps to go. Should be a heck of a shootout here up front. Coming around this time by, should be getting the 1 to go here. Patrick Spangler hoping that it can just stay green flag.
Green, green,
Patrick
green.
Spangler here going to lead him to the green flag. Good jump for him, trying to get audio issues figured out here. I think I got him figured out. Hopefully we do. Big run for Patrick. I mean, he's got it. But meanwhile, John Hine up to 3rd place. Must have had some trouble there with Andy Piercefield. Andy Piercefield, I believe, maybe went over the edge, lost 7 spots. Top 3 now kind of settled as John was able to get by Trevor. It doesn't seem like Trevor's really putting the pressure on him. Let's see if we can find a close battle on the track here. We got Butch Baker back here in the 8th spot. There's not really anywhere to go, but Dean Reynolds all over him. But meanwhile, out front here as we come to 3 to go, Patrick Spangler with a huge lead, starting to walk it out to a 2nd over Brandon Templeton. Brandon Templeton pulling a gap over John Hine. They're just kind of staying in line. Here's we get the 2 to go this time by. Andy Piercefield was able to slot back in line and here in 11th. Not able to do any damage though for the top 10, but as we come around, Patrick Spangler is going to get the white flag here. Final flag. Anybody can wreck. Brandon Templeton, though, able to beat out John Hine just at the line for 2nd place. You saw it there. What a battle to the line. John really tried to bring him in there, but just not enough time to get it done. But what a win for Patrick Spangler. Another one for him tonight at his hometown track, and you can definitely tell he's happy to be here. Let's bring up your race results here. Give you the top 10. We got Patrick Spangler, Brandon Templeton, John Hine, Trevor Giroux, Jack Clevenger, Isaac Salas, Brian Dickens, Butch Baker, Logan Wetz, and rounding out your top 10 is Dean Reynolds. Trevor Giroux is going to be your biggest mover tonight, up 15 spots up to P4. See if we can't bring these guys up for an interview here. Hey, John, Zach in the booth, man. You got a copy?
I do.
Well, you're able to bring it home in third place.
Hold on real quick. Hold on real quick, Zach.
I think he's being told where to park, so let's just give him a second here.
Yeah, we're getting Brandon and I we're kind of going for it there at the end, and
Yeah, it looked like, I mean, you definitely had a big run, just kind of looked like you got pinched a little bit there at the end, but you know, that's going to happen when you're coming to the line, but it's a good that's a good charge through the field. Tell us about it.
Yeah, just had to be patient. You know, to get up through the field there, it was had some interesting moments there, but that top line was really good. And I know that Trevor and Andy was having a fantastic run, and there a unfortunate contact there with them, and I was able to capitalize it. And man, it split that gap there, and it scared me to death.
Yeah, you know, Andy was holding his own there in third till that contact, but it's a good run by you. And you got anybody you want to thank on the third place position tonight?
Yeah, I want to thank you for the broadcast here, and I want to thank you for being a Gambler teammate, Steven, Aiden, Jeff. You know, you guys are the absolute best, and I want to thank Roger Preston for putting this whole deal on. I'd like to thank eSpeed TV for being on the car. And I just want to thank everybody who's watching. Thank you for tuning in, and hopefully we gave you a show.
Well, congratulations on the third place, John, and hopefully get to talk to you again here in the future.
Yep, absolutely.
That's John Hine in the 71, finishing P3. Let's go ahead and bring up your second place finisher in the 31, Brandon Templeton. Hey, Brandon, Zach in the booth, man. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you, Zach.
Hey, man. Well, you had a good car tonight. It, you know, not to say anything about anybody, but kind of looked like Patrick was in a league of his own. But you definitely did have a fast car tonight, and you and John had a heck of a race to the line. Talk to us about it.
Yeah, first of all, Patrick was, I told him there in the waiting room, he was a freaking alien tonight. Like, I couldn't keep up with him at all. He was just up on the very top, right on the razor's edge. And, he was nailing it lap after lap. There was 3 or 4 laps in a row there towards the end where he was pulling away, and it was saying he was getting the fastest lap of the race. And then not a thing I could do. So hats off to him. And, John and I were just going for it. I didn't know if he was coming around the outside or if he was coming around the inside. I tried to leave him a room, and we just got together, but somehow we finished with 0x. So no harm, no foul. It's just good fun racing.
Yeah, it looked like to me the contact went on the stream. It looked like to me it was after the race was over. So yeah, I don't think it would affect you guys. You guys had just crossed the line. It's a heck of a race to the finish, and I mean, that's what you expect here. It's kind of a train race, and he had to throw something at the end and kind of had to block it. But do you got anybody you want to thank on the second place finish?
Yeah, I got to thank Jay with the Dirt Track Bank. They're supporting our team pretty good and supporting, Joe and everything we're doing with Friday Night Lights too. So thanks to them. Thanks a lot to Jay especially. Thanks to Got Your Six Racing Network, Commission 22. Check out Friday Night Lights tomorrow night. Come race with us. I think we're at Lucas Oil. And then thanks to Hammer Down Racing, Brian, Kurt, Joe, Brandon, Aylesworth. He's kind of newer on the team, but getting him into things, and it's just we help each other out, with a lot of different stuff, whether it's computers, real race cars, iRacing setups, what to do, where you set everything about it. So that's really cool. Extreme Images, Mealy's Makery, Big C's Lawn Care, you for doing the stream, Zach. It's been pretty cool to have someone step up and get all this covered, when we didn't know if we were going to. So thanks to that, you're doing a great job, and everyone watching at home, thanks.
Appreciate that, Brandon. Definitely had some audio issues tonight. The last interviews weren't weren't heard in the last race, but hey, man, I'm working out the bugs, and I appreciate the compliments. But you gonna run the Xfinity race here next?
No, I'm probably done for the night. I'm starting to dabble my toes a little bit in the trucks, but definitely not there yet.
Alrighty, Brandon. Well, congratulations on the second place finish, and hopefully I talk to you again.
Thanks.
That's Brandon Templeton in the 31 car. Let's bring up your winner here again, Patrick Spangler. Well, Patrick, you said your first job was here, right?
Yeah.
Seems like you learned a little something there, picking up trash on the weekends, because that's 2 wins in a row. And I mean, Brandon said it. I was saying it too on the broadcast. Once again, dude, you were the highest car on the track. I don't think you could have slipped a piece of paper between you and the edge. Kind of unbelievable how you can do that. Tell us a little bit about it.
Just by far my favorite track on the sim. Probably put the most laps on any track here. I like because it has no wall, so a lot of the other guys can bounce off the wall just right, and at the other tracks and make the top work. But here it's all about just feeling it and getting to a rhythm, which I was always afraid of the cautions because it just takes one like little knock out of the rhythm and go over the edge like I did yesterday in the midgets. But if you told me I'd be sitting here first when they had Templeton and Speeds, two of the best late model drivers here, starting first and second, I'd call you a liar. But just got lucky that Brandon went over the edge, and I didn't end up going over, and just able to hold on to it.
Yeah, well, I mean, you said it. Luck has something to do with it sometimes, but when you're running the fastest laps of the race with 2 and 3 laps to go, you earned it. So congratulations, Patrick. And you got anybody you want to thank on the win?
Yeah, just like thank you for filling in tonight and starting the broadcasting off here, first night here. Roger run the league. Trevor for giving me the pep talk not to go over the edge and telling me to keep gapping him there. Train Wheels Racing, Dudex Sim Designs, AccuForce Wheel here. Just can feel the track and just didn't let me down tonight. And Dad, I'll go back home watching.
Well, thanks, Patrick. And I promise they heard your interview tonight. They may not have heard all of the racing in this race because I realized I clicked something off again. But this last one, we're going to get it perfect here in this NASCAR race. So hopefully you can win this one.
All right, sounds good. Have a good night.
All right, congratulations. That's Patrick Spangler in the 39 car, and we're going to take a quick break here, and we'll be back with some NASCAR action at Iowa Speedway.
It's time for another edition of RSN Trackside, powered by Bob Johnson Auto Group on Rock Sports Network. Gets on the champion. Trying to be a bit of a hiatus, so let's get.
Tonight we'll be talking about it.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our weekly race chat.
Adam Ross and Clinton Jeffrey are live and interactive every Tuesday night. Rivals Race Chat is your home for race discussion, debate, news, interviews, and more. They'll even take your questions and comments live on the air and talk to some of the newsmakers each week. Tune in every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. on GeForce TV.
And we are back live here for showing you qualifying here with your Xfinity Series here at Iowa. We're going to be seeing laps pop up here shortly. Now, Tim Chapman was purple in Sector 1. Now we see Brandon Dittmer. Now the fastest car in Sector 1. Let's try to see what this lap's going to look like. Brandon Dittmer, purple. That's going to be the pole right now at a 23:51. Isaac Salas with a 23:55. Tim Chapman with a 23:55. Or Isaac with the 53. Tim Chapman had the 55. So those are your top three right now. Let's take a look at Dittmer. Does he improve? No, he does not. Preston Cramner, though, to the top of the timesheets, improving on his last lap. Isaac Salas as well, improving on his final lap. New top of the timesheets. Tim Chapman did not improve. Let's take a look at somebody else out here. Let's take a look at Roland Olsen. His last lap put him in P7. Take a look at this Yoo-hoo machine. Let's ride on board. Let's show you a little bit of the driver line. I just realized I did that to you guys again. You can see I'm one of those people that have that on for the road racing, and then I forget to turn it off, so I'm glad it didn't really show up on the dirt, but we'll make sure it gets off here for the race. Colin Johnston up to P5, gets a little sideways after his lap. Let's see what we got out here now. Gary Offit still on the track. Couldn't improve on his second lap, though. Going to stay with a 24.0. Looking like everybody's done their laps. Thinking we're going to have Isaac Salas here in the 5 car out front. This should be a pretty interesting race here, though. Should be going, I believe, 70 laps tonight. But we'll know for sure here when it comes up. I think we did 70 or 75 last night. Like I say, we went green flag pit stop. So hopefully the guys can deliver here and we can have some good racing here tonight. I know the main thing is going to be here. You're going to see guys. There's going to be a difference. I finished second last night in the truck race. Brady Floyd won, and we both kind of went with the same strategy. You can't abuse these tires by running hard on the bottom in 3 and 4. You just can't. If you want to carry speed into the corner, you've got to go up high and not crank as much wheel into it. That's really going to be the only way that they can work on saving tires here tonight, is running that middle top. So if the race seems like it's going to be going long run, I'd be pretty aware of that. Definitely a lot of people, though, like to thank, for letting me do this tonight. Roger Craig giving me a chance to do this and get my feet wet. Marty Sakala for, basically being my teacher through this whole thing, and answering the phone whenever I call him and ask him questions, or text him and ask him questions. Stuff doesn't go unnoticed or appreciated, and I wouldn't be able to fill in and do that without you guys. So much thanks here. But let me give you your starting grid here. Everybody's pretty much qualified. I see they've all got times in. We've got 15 guys here tonight. So we'll start off. Isaac Salas on the pole in the 05. Preston Cramner in the 07. Position rounding out the front row. Row number 2. You got Brandon Dittmer in the 83. On the outside of him, the 37. My father, Tim Chapman. Inside of row number 3, we've got the 13 of Colin Johnston. Outside of him is the 003 of Roland Olson. On the inside of row number 4, you've got the 17 of Daniel Blau. Outside of him, the 1 of Joe Canellas. Inside of row number 5, the 161 of Terry Landis and the 14 of Mark Gilbert. Inside of row number 6, the 8 of Jeremy Tate. On the outside of him, the 85 of Jacob Butcher. Inside of row number 7, the 146 of Jason Coffey. Outside of him is the 94 of Gary Offit. And rounding out the field tonight in 15th position is going to be Greg Parmalee. Let's go ahead and get up front here. Take a look at Isaac's machine. Preston Cramner with a real good qualifying run. He hasn't been running dirt with us as much, but I spy on people, and I've noticed that he's been in the rooms practicing for asphalt. He's really been putting in time, and it shows with that second place qualifying position. That's a good showing there for the 07. As they pace around, it looks like Terry Landis did not make the call. Yeah, he did not make the call, so he is hopefully going to grid up here and maybe hope for an early caution to get himself back into this thing, because it's going to be real tough to do any damage starting with that big of a deficit. With the smaller field, though, tonight on it, looks like we're going 85 laps, I think, if my eyes serve me correct. So going a little more than I thought. I'm not sure. Maybe that will force them to 2 pit stop. We did not have to last night, so that will be interesting. You hear how quiet the motors are, too. That's something a lot of the experienced guys, know they're probably clutching right now, because gas always matters, especially if you're thinking about trying to stretch it into that one stop, which it did work last night. We'll have to see if they can stretch it out and try for a one stop tonight. Pace car should be pulling off here, though, as we come out of turn 4, and they'll be firing on the green flag here.
Green flag.
So Isaac Salas in the 5 car leads your field to the start-finish line, gets a good jump on the start, easily able to clear Preston Cramner. And now here's where you're going to see what I was talking about. You're seeing Preston. He could have went to the bottom if he wanted to, but probably smart to stay up there. You just got to keep it out of the wall. But now he diamond back down in 3 and 4. Now the 37 of Tim Chapman looking for second place, trying to peek to the outside. But, oh, maybe gets a little sideways, almost touches the 07 of Preston Cramner. Let's see here. They are side by side there in the middle of the corner. Tim's really making Preston keep it down on the exit of 1 and 2. And what I was trying to say, that is really, that's going to hurt your tire wear. You do not want to have to bind that thing up. So he's doing what he has to do. Is we have an accident there. Tim Chapman, maybe it looked like got loose or something, came down over the 07. No caution, though, as they both spin out in pit road. Tough break. Let's see if we can't go back and just look at this real quick. Tim Chapman just bounces off the wall and comes down and gets into the 07 of Preston Cramner. Nothing the 07 can do, and I imagine that's going to ruin some nights. Sorry, having to cheat sometimes to go back to live. I haven't really figured all this out yet, but Isaac Salas, meanwhile, pulling out to a half a second lead, and Brandon Dittmer, he's one of those guys, he's another good one on the long run, slowly just going to try to hang out there, maybe stay within draft. Daniel Blau back here in third, getting by Roland Olson, trying to float up the track, really not trying to burn up his tires, but at the same time doesn't want a shot there coming out of the corner. Knows it's too early. You aren't going to win the race now, but you sure as heck can lose it, as Tim and Preston proved. Roland Olson all over the back bumper there of Daniel Blau. Let's go. Let's check out some battles here throughout. Watch Jacob Butcher here in 6th place. See, trying to get a run up here on Jeremy Tate. So as you can see, just trying to, they're all really in tire conservation. I'm kind of surprised. The truck race, people went a little aggressive early on, but I think maybe they learned from the truck race and saw, hey, this, we could get long green flag runs here. We need to save our stuff. We can't pit every 25 laps. And you're seeing it here. You're just seeing guys like Butcher just way up top, but he's even making up time. He's doing a good job of not beating up his stuff and at the same time making moves. But you can see he's driving very hard on entries, making up a lot of time. And over the course of a long run, his tires are not going to be happy about that. Speaking of the course of a long run, Isaac Salas chewed the lead up. He's got almost a second gap there, 3/4 of a second. But Brandon's just trying to stay within that draft range. Isaac is really kind of running the middle bottom. Brandon's running the same, so I imagine they're going to kind of have similar tire wear, but we'll only be able to tell at about lap 25 or so. That's when they'll really start to fall off. Guys, Terry Landis was able to get going, and he was able to actually pass Tim Chapman. I think Tim had to tow there. It looked like maybe the motor blew whenever he wrecked, so that's going to be a long night for him 2 laps down there. But we do have a battle now for the 5th spot. Jeremy Tate passing Daniel Blau. There's not enough room, though, to throw the slider right now. And Blau's going to make him eat up those tires, getting a big run. Tate really had to back off there on the exiter. He was going to slide up and get into him. Cullen Johnston says, hey, don't forget about me, guys. I'm back here getting a big run on the high side. Meanwhile, they're all closing in on Roland Olson there for 3rd place. They're going to have a big battle here for 3rd soon. Cullen Johnston in the wall. Didn't look like enough to give it damage, but it may have crinkled the fenders a little bit. That's for sure. You could hear it. He was up in the fence. Jacob Butcher now trying to go to the bottom here on Roland Olson. It's going to be hard to do, and 15 lap old tires. Let's see if he can get it done. Really got to go in there and throw a slider if you want to do it. And your tires pay for that for a couple laps after. Roland just able to put his car right in the spot, you know, be able to float up and not really allow anyone to give a good run. He's doing a good job of holding on to third. Let's go back up to the front here. Isaac Salas, your leader. Let's take a look off the gearbox, see how far he is. So that's your gap to second place. Brandon Dittmer, it's slowly climbing every lap. Last lap, though, they did run identical 24.36s. So we'll have to see what the lap times look like this time by Isaac Salas, 0.03 of a second faster, 24.38. He is the fastest car on track right now. We got more battling back here for that 5th position. That's 3rd through 6th. Third through 7th, actually, because Mark Gilbert is starting to creep up in that picture. Just see all this side by side, and you know, if you're on the bottom, your tires are not going to be happy with you the longer they go. And it's seeming like, you know, we had it happen last night. A couple guys saved it, and I mean, we saw it happen to Tim Chapman early. Fresh tires can get you a little bit loose, so there is an advantage here to saving your tires and going longer on the green flag stop, and potentially hoping that a guy who does an early pit stop is too aggressive and gets a little loose on the new tires. And you know, if you pit here, you're going a lap down. It's a small track. You're not going to pit here and not go a lap down. So you get trapped a lap down, that's a strategy in itself for somebody maybe like Dittmer, who may not have anything for Isaac tonight, is just, you know, kind of hanging out. Or maybe he does have something and he's just waiting to show it. He's got that gap back down to 9/10. It was almost to a second. So Brandon's slowly hanging in the picture. Let's go back here to your battle for 4th. It's actually a battle for 3rd. Daniel Blau's trying to work by Jeremy Tate here. You saw, I mean, Cullen Johnston, or wait, no. Yeah, that's, okay, so Cullen Johnston, he must have gotten a little bit of damage. Didn't realize he pit. He did pit. He is a lap down. He may be thinking that they've got the 2-stop it tonight and just trying to be aggressive and maybe make some track time up when he wasn't gonna. Preston Cramner entered the pits. Gary Offit's in the pits. Got a couple people definitely ducking down pit road now. Preston's coming off. Let's see Gary down here coming in for his stop. Go back to the leader. Now, if you're Isaac, I don't think you let any of this affect you. If you think, you know, you can one-stop it, you do it. You're still running, looking at lap times. He's got one of the faster cars on the track. Jacob Butcher in 7th, actually, is second fastest car right now. He's running some pretty good times out of the guys with old tires. Cullen starting to click up a little bit of times here. Daniel Blau just able to hang with him. He's probably loving having the faster car with fresh tires just a little bit in front of him. It's not going to create too much of a push on that front end, but he's going to be able to get a little draft down the straightaways and help him. It's going to hurt him a little bit on corner entry, make the tires a little more angry. He's going to be going faster, but you know, it helps you trim that gap back. It's definitely a little more of advantage than disadvantage with old tires. Brandon Dittmer, though, that gap is up to 1.1 seconds. Kind of having trouble with Isaac now. He's maybe kind of in the boat like I was, just content with second last night because it doesn't seem like he's going to try any different pitch strategy to make anything out. Going to try to go as long as he can here, just keep on Isaac's trail. Let's take a look here at Daniel Blau and Jeremy Tate. Trying to work at Cullen Johnston here. But Cullen, you know, he is a lap down, but right now he would be that first person to get his lap back. So he is doing what he has to do. You can't just let those guys go right by. Up front, though, gaps up to a 2.5 seconds. Isaac Salas really just being smooth and consistent. Let's ride on board here for a lap. Just listen to that throttle control, how easy it has to be on exit. Let's ride on board here for one lap. The throttle control that's needed. You can't pick up the gas real early, and you hear him letting out of it. It's all about rolling in and getting back to the gas as quick as you can. And I mean, he's giving a master class right now. 1.5 seconds over Dittmer, almost 1 3/4 seconds. And Brandon Dittmer at the same time, huge gap on Daniel Blau to third. Mike Gilbert there, your car in P4. The cars in between him and Daniel, they're laps down right now. We've got Preston Cranmer and Cullen Johnston battling. That is for position for them. Check out this battle here. Greg Parmley trying to run down the 85 with Jacob Butcher. Jacob Butcher's just, his tires got to be hurt. He's running 25.4. That's over 1/2 second slower than Isaac Salas right now. So just you can see the tire difference. Isaac Salas last lap 24.87. Daniel Blau 24.87 as well. But most everyone else are in the low 25s. So Isaac is, I mean, he's just really putting it to him. So you see Greg, he was able to get by. Who's that behind him? Joe Canella's, he is a lap down, fresher tires, making his way through the field here. I think here we're on board with your leader. You know, he's getting run down here by these people with fresh tires, but I think he's still in a great spot. He's right now at 35, so if he pit right now, you know, put him to 70, 35 more. He's got to try to go to lap. He's got to try to go 8 more laps, I think. 7 or 8 more laps. Maybe he's thinking about clutching it in the corners to make sure he can do it. Man, as long as he behaves himself on pit road and doesn't get in any trouble, he's going to have a tough time losing this one tonight. And Dittmer just trying to be smooth. Last lap he was right on par with Isaac Salas. He just not really having the consistency. You'll see him run almost identical laps as Isaac, but it's just not there. Then the next lap he'll be a 10th or 3 slower, and it's all about that corner entry and not picking up the throttle too early, but picking it up at the right time where you don't have to get out of it again, so you can carry all that exit speed. And you saw there, he floated up towards the wall, really lost exit speed. You can see the ticker down. And, he's gotta watch picking up the throttle too early. 38, though. We are coming up on potential pit stops for the leader in 5 or 6 laps here. So don't go anywhere. It definitely could get exciting. We've seen pit penalties affect race outcomes before. Definitely wouldn't be the first time. As we roll through the field here, we are down to 8 people on the lead lap. And your last person on the lead lap has got almost a 20-second gap between him and Isaac Salas. Got a lot to do. He's going to have the leaders on his tail soon. As you know, lap times, they're running 23-second laps, so Isaac can see him. As you can see, he's not too far behind. Definitely reeling in more lap cars. Isaac Salas, though, still just showing his speed. Running in the 24s, still one of the only cars in the 24s, and he's running a 24.7. The only other car in the 24s is Daniel Blau, 24.9, 2/10 off. Isaac just really doing it. Let's go back to Daniel. See, he was chewing down that gap into second place a little bit. He's chewed it down to 2.3 seconds. Let's go and work for a lap with Daniel Blau here. You can hear it when he picks up the gas. He's finally in it. He may not have been on par with Isaac right away, but you don't hear him feathering it. You hear him do it a little bit there to help the car rotate, and then he's back in it. It's all about not picking it up too early, because people think, oh, if I get to the gas sooner, I'm going to make up time. Yes, but you aren't if you get back to the gas too soon, because you're going to lift there on corner exit, and you're going to ruin all that straightaway speed. Right now on old tires, as you're seeing Daniel Blau come up on people, it is all about that straightaway speed as the car in front of him gets in the wall. Like the 94 of Gary Offit there. But good job keeping it together and no caution. We are over the halfway point though. We're at the point where guys can pit and make it. So I imagine any time we're going to see guys bailing down pit road. If I'm Dittmer, I really think about it just to put the pressure on Isaac. As I say that, got a couple lead lap guys pulling in the pits. Mark Gilbert, Jeremy Tate. See, Greg Parmley's in the pits. Isaac Salas coming around. Your leader is in the pits. Let's go over here. Let's see if Brandon Dittmer followed him in as well. All your leaders are on pit road here. That's your gap. Brandon is hoping that Isaac has some trouble in the pits here. Maybe overshoots a stall, maybe speeds on exit. Because Brandon is right there, but he needs some help. Isaac all the way down to that number 1 pit stall. See here as they drop it on the right side, pick it back up on the left. Gets those tires on and he's gone. Let's see where Brandon Dittmer is. Coming out behind him. Let's see Daniel Blau. What's the gap there? Roland Olson also. This is for position. Now he pitted way early, so if he doesn't get by these guys, or by Dittmer right now, I don't really see it happening because Dittmer's going to have fresh tires, but that is for position. Roland Olson is one of the guys who went with that other strategy. You can see it's just not really going to pay off because they have to stop again. Oh, as Dittmer gets sideways on the new tires, like I was talking about, and we have a caution out. That is going to be the caution. It's Brandon Dittmer getting sideways is going to be our caution. Let's go. Let's take one more look at it here, but we watched it live. fast forward this here quick. I could only get it to him coming out of the pits, but we'll get a good. We got plenty of time under this caution here. You can just see it there. It just starts to step out. Let's rewind here. Let's go on board here. Just hear the tires start to squeal, just a little too aggressive on the throttle. And just sideways enough to bring the caution out. You got to think with the car he had, he's going to want to consider coming in and getting new rubber on those things. Whoopsie daisies. There we go, we're back. We got it looking how it should. Dittmer able to, keep that spot there, keep it rolling. He did lose one there, maybe to Olsen, not too sure. Nolan Olsen was allowed to go around, never mind. No, not looking like Dittmer's gonna pit here, and I really think that could end up being a mistake for him after doing that to those tires, because Daniel Blau was one of the only people running Isaac Salas lap times there at the end. Wasn't catching him, had already let the gap go too big. I don't think he really has anything for Isaac unless he was hiding it in the beginning, but he's definitely gonna have something for Mr. Dittmer, especially with those real angry tires right now. So we're gonna have a heck of a race here on our hands for the second spot. Looking back through the field, that does give guys like, if Isaac and them didn't pit, guys like Preston, Cramner, Cullen Johnston, the guys who were on that other pit strategy that they didn't get stuck a lap down, they came in and got new tires there to start that pit. So, I mean, it's not going to be much fresher, and Isaac did a great job of saving his tires anyway. They might be equal at the end, but that's something to keep an eye on if, there is a caution with 15 to go. These guys, this couple up front are going to be the only ones with tires, so it's going to be interesting here. Sitting here, though, we take a look at the points. Isaac Salas right now, he's your points leader. He won last week. Brandon Dittmer is currently in second. I'm currently in third. That's going to change. Cullen Johnston's in fourth, and Jeffrey Kemper's tied with him there. So we've got two people at fourth to round out the top five. Lights are off now as we got the 1 to green here. We fire them back up, should have 33 to go. So with the way they opened up, hopefully we can keep it rolling. Hopefully cautions don't breed cautions, but would maybe make it a little interesting to see a little rubbing at the front.
Green.
Isaac with a good jump here as he gets the fire in the Geico restart zone. Easily clears him by 2 car lengths, gets the float up top. Daniel Blau there, not going away. Oh, caution is out. Caution is out. I was afraid cautions might breed cautions. Let's see what happens. Terry Landis. Oh, just car below him. Pushes up into him. Not too sure who that was. If that was Gary Offit. No, it wasn't Gary. Greg Parmalee drifted up there a little bit. Yeah, bear with me 1 second. I'm having trouble with it jumping to live. Alright, we got her there. Where there's a will, there's a way. Sometimes you just have to bring up the actual iRacing command. Right now, 31 to go, still pacing under caution. Haven't had too much happen. Seems like that Tim Chapman there with a lucky dog going to get one of his laps back. He is definitely a beneficiary of that. They're going to, you know, you don't want a bunch of cautions, but the guys a lap down there, they're definitely begging for it. Got 3 guys a lap down now. Greg Parmalee, Terry Landis, and Tim Chapman. So we are definitely looking for another caution or two to try to get back on the lead lap. Now I've got 3 people up 6 spots, all starting right there with Mark Gilbert in 4th place. He's up 6. Jeremy Tate right behind him is up 6, and right behind Jeremy Tate is Jacob Butcher. He is also up 6 positions. So those guys will definitely be battling hard for the hard charger bonus. So that's, you know, every bonus points matter in these things, and that 5 points can really come into play. We had points in the fall series, you know, decided by 1 point or less. So incident points, when people make contact in this league, they lose points. This league really promotes clean driving. So, you know, like what we saw earlier, it wasn't Preston's fault, but when he got caught in that accident with Tim Chapman, not only did he lose incident points there, but he also didn't get the 5 bonus points for his 0x. So it's a huge swing, and that's why, you know, these guys are really on trying to lift when a caution comes out and trying to avoid all that contact, because at the end of the day, it really can decide a points championship. Oh, we still got the lights on the pace car. Looks like they'll do at least one more time around here. Really appreciate everyone sitting with me dealing through all the audio problems and all the slight bugs of me doing it, trying to work all this stuff out, and I'm having a good time doing it. So thank you for riding along. If you're out there watching, feel free to chime in the chat. You know, tell me who you're rooting for, who you think's going to win this race tonight. For riding along. Coming by this time, should get the 1 to green here. As yes, the lights are off. Your leader Isaac Salas is going to choose the bottom here, probably hoping to get a good jump again. Try to clear him, but me personally, the way he's been floating up anyway, you know, you maybe want to start up top and force him to be on the bottom, maybe get pinched down by Daniel Blau, you know. Daniel Blau, or Mark Gilbert, I mean. Mark Gilbert could be your best friend if you pull him along up top and create a battle and maybe pinch him down. Because with the way leaders restart and the Geico restart zone, they're almost guaranteed to get that pull. So you wanna work it any way you can. Pace car dives off here. We come back 26 to green here, or 26 laps left in the race here. As we get the green, Isaac Salas with another good jump, really pulls away, able to kind of do what he wants there. He restarts. Daniel Blau, he's really trying to get by Dittmer. And I think, you know, Dittmer's tires have definitely, after being that first wreck, he definitely had enough time to cool down and recycle. As Brandon Dittmer's really putting the pressure on Isaac Salas here for the lead. We've got a new leader with 25 to go. But I think the thing that could hurt Brandon is he's driving a little too hard right now. You know, I said it once, say it a million times. He spun that car out. Those tires have to be hurt. But he's proven me wrong. Isaac with a big run coming into turn 3. Let's go on board with Daniel Blau here. Get a visual of these guys racing. Daniel Blau gets into the fence a little bit right as we go on board. You could hear it. Really putting that car on the bottom. You could hear the rear end slide a little bit coming off. He's really pushing it, but meanwhile we got caution out. Looks like Roland Olson. On board of Roland. Preston me. Oh, dude. Let's go above the blimp here. Let's rewind. See, we'll try to get a good view of this. If maybe it does look like maybe Roland, yeah, comes down off the wall a little bit. Maybe a little bit of neck code sealed the deal there, but that's going to do it for. It's going to hurt Preston. I imagine he already used that one quick repair and going to really put a hurting on his night. As yeah, we see Preston and Roland both have to dip in the pits. But who's going to be the beneficiary here? Is Terry Landis maybe going to get a wave around? Yeah, it looks like Terry Landis is going to get the wave around. He's going to be back on the lead lap here. So big for him. Tim Chapman hoping for one more caution. He'd be the next car to get it if he can stay ahead of Greg Parmalee. But Brandon Dittmer, the big surprise on that restart, really hooking it up there in lap 2. Not sure if maybe Isaac, you know, got a little loose or something to get that run, but Brandon Dittmer out of nowhere, putting it on the high side and just blowing by. And now him, you know, I've once again said it once, said a million times, keep talking about his tires. These cautions are only helping him. I mean, less green flag laps. It's to the point where if you were a leader and you were going to pit for tires, you'd probably do it now. You don't want to have to make a bunch of moves in under 20 to go. And, I mean, if you did pit, you would have come out in 12th or 11th, I believe. Yeah, 11th, because Roland Olson pit as well. You would have come out about 11th. And I think with 4 fresh tires, if they stay green, you would have had enough time. But as these laps wind down, the lead laps, you know, only more cars are going to get added to this lead lap, and it's going to be much harder to work your way through. So I think you're kind of run what you brung right now. You got to stick with what you got and hope it lasts. Brandon Dittmer, though, he wants the bottom as well. They maybe feel a little bit more comfortable on the bottom because that's just the normal thing to do. But with the way these guys have been running 1 and 2, that middle, I personally, I'm taking the high side so I can diamond in the corner a little bit and not beat up my tires as much swerving. But he's going to go with the bottom here. Guy who definitely is having the least fun right now and wants to get back going is Isaac Salas. He gotta feel like he's got the fastest long run car. He proved that on the first run, but riding around under caution, it's really tough to keep your rhythm. It's tough. You know, you got to keep the tires warm. That does matter. And a lot of these guys aren't swerving too much, but you know, you never know if they're riding the brake a little bit to build that tire pressure back up. But you do not want to cycle your tires like this and keep letting them get cool, or it is going to be a slick restart for you. Go to the blimp here for this until we go to green. Let's get a view of your cars there on the lead lap right now. Quick rundown of the top 5. Got Brandon Dittmer, Isaac Salas, Daniel Blau, Mark Gilbert, and in 5th place Joe Canellis right now. Your hard charger right now, Mark Gilbert up 6 spots. Pace car getting ready to pull off here. Your leader, Brandon Dittmer, can fire anytime he wants in that Geico restart zone. And there he goes. Good jump from Brandon. See what I mean? He's able to move up. It's almost like if I wouldn't go up there and give the person I'm racing draft. That's why I almost want to make him start on the bottom and not give him any pool, because they're kind of defeating themselves by doing that. Daniel Blau, he's not going away. He's going to hang out right on the inside of Isaac Salas, but going to hurt him a little bit on exit, but he's able to maybe back out, float up, just get in line. Isaac Salas just not letting him go anywhere, keeping that gap the same. Just trying to wait for a little bit mistake, or you know, for Dittmer to make a mistake, but he might have to force a mistake. 17 to go here, so Isaac is running out of time. I know that seems like a lot, but only 23-second laps here. So they are rolling. It's going to click away fast. Isaac's got to make the move while he has the tires. Brandon's doing a good job of keeping that high side. That's where you want. You want to make the guy go by you on the bottom. And Dittmer able to just keep parking it there. Cars behind him aren't going anywhere, you know, but they just don't have the racing line to be able to do anything. As Daniel Blau's trying to cut it to the bottom. Not going to get a big run out of 3 and 4, but he's able to stay side by side on Isaac and maybe have a battle here for second. Isaac really getting into that gas early. You see him carry it up, almost getting to the fence. He may have a tough time getting by Dittmer here. Dittmer did a good job of placing it up front, and now as the tires start to age, it's much harder to pass. You're seeing that Isaac was the dominant car all race, but he is just falling off. The car does not agree with this set of tires. Daniel Blau just really making the car work, trying to get by as we're coming on to 13 to go here. Daniel pushing up the track a little bit, not able to keep it down like he was on entry, but gets a little bit more of a diamond exit. Just going to slot back in line now. Isaac Salas is not going anywhere. Dittmer's got a mirror full. You know he sees it, and you know that's making him a little nervous. Isaac just needs to hit that intimidate button, get right on the bumper, give him a little shove going in the corner. Not enough to wreck him, but move him up out of your way. You're right there as we're coming up on 11 to go. Could put the top 3 under a blanket right now. What more could you ask for here? As we're coming out of turn 2. This time by going through 3 and 4, Isaac's going to look low. Try to make his move. Gets a little sideways as he steps on the gas. Going to help him turn a little bit, but he's going to lose exit speed. Brandon Dittmer's going to lead him to the line. 10 to go. Isaac Salas all over that rear bumper of Brandon Dittmer. But just nowhere to go. Brandon is not giving him the high side. And you see Isaac really carries a lot of momentum coming out of the corner. Getting the gas earlier than Brandon, but Brandon's just in the spot where Isaac needs to be. Coming out of turn 4, Isaac looks to make the move again, just not able to get under him. Car does not want to turn coming off the corner, but he is right there. As you see now, the top 5 still on your screen. This anybody's race if the front 2 get into it here. Brennan Dittmer, though, your last time around, was fastest car on track. As Isaac, he just throws it in there, but not enough to make a move. Daniel Blau gets a run on him, decides better of it, lifts off a little early. Going to try to pick up the gas sooner than Isaac. Just nowhere to go here as we're coming up on 6 to go here as they come out of turn 4. Isaac with another big run. He's there. Just needs to get to the bumper and move him a little bit. Cannot take our eyes off this front 3 right now. Not with 6 to go. Not when they're this close. Any mistake by Brandon leaves the door open for Isaac. Brandon did run lower there that time. I'm kind of surprised Isaac didn't try to carry in some speed and get a run on the high side coming out of 3 and 4 as we're 5 to go. Running out of time. Isaac bounces it off the wall, really trying to pick up speed. That opens the door for Daniel Blau. He's right there, but he's just not going to have the exit speed as we come up on 4 to go. Isaac is really throwing it in there. He may get to the point where he's got to rub doors a little bit. He's got the faster car, but Brandon is just doing a wonderful job of putting it in the racing line. Isaac's throwing it in there deep. He can't clear on the slider. Daniel Blau's going to get a run up high as we're coming on 3 to go. All odds are on this front battle right now. They're almost 3 wide for the lead. Daniel Blau really did a great job of saving those tires, getting a good run on exit, but just can't float up. Isaac Salas really trying to throw it in there hard. May have to lean on him as we're coming up here on 2 to go. Oh, they touch. They touch. Daniel Blau is loving this. He wants to see those guys rub some more so he can get a big run and throw it in there on these guys. Daniel Blau and Isaac touch going down the backstretch. Isaac's going to throw it in there, not going to be able to clear him. Daniel Blau's going to look for a diamond line. We're coming to the white flag, almost 3 wide at the line. Daniel Blau. White flag is out. Daniel Blau's your new second place car. Let's see how much of the tires he left. He's got it down in there on the bottom. Enough. He just cleared Dittmer. Dittmer may have gotten the fence a little bit. Isaac's going to throw it in there. Not able to get to the back of Daniel Blau. Daniel Blau looks like he's going to win the race. Dittmer in the fence. Is he able to go? Turned Isaac Salas a little bit as he came off the fence, but Isaac Salas is going to be able to hold on to second, and Brandon Dittmer is going to round out third. Let's run through the rest of the field here. Mark Gilbert in fourth. Joe Canellis in fifth. Cullen Johnston in sixth. Jeremy Tate in seventh. Roland Olson in eighth. Jason Coffey in ninth. Jacob Butcher in 10th. Gary Offit in 11th, Terry Landis in 12th, Tim Chapman in 13th, Greg Parmley in 14th, and rounding out the field tonight. Tough night for Preston Cramner. Not really anything he could do, you know, just kind of is what it is, and it's the way it goes sometimes. Sometimes you just get caught up in other people's crap. Let's give these guys a second here to get on up to the Discord, and I'll pull them up for their interviews. Hey, Brandon, Zach in the booth, man. You got a copy?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Well, dude, you gave us a heck of a race, and I mean, when you go back and listen to this, you're gonna hear me talk about it. But the way you made those tires last after you spun out, that was incredible. I can't believe you were even in the talk for the win there, those last couple laps. But run us through it a little bit.
Yeah, we had that nice long green flag run, and I don't know what happened. I came out, spun out like a lap and a half later, and I somehow got my spot back. I don't know how that happened. So, um, those tires were definitely going away very, very quickly. I think I had 72% on my right front there at the end, 76 actually, but it did not feel like 76. It was barely hanging on.
Well, you did a good job of hanging on to that. I mean, you just basically parking it in the racing line. You taking momentum away from them coming off exit, and there were a couple laps, man. I thought you were going to be able to hang on to it, but good run tonight. And you got anybody you want to thank on the third?
Oh yeah, just you for the broadcast, Roger for Coast to Coast, Training Eagles Racing, and also the Venom Boys for letting me run tonight with them. I always have a lot of fun hanging out with them.
Well, congratulations, Brandon, and hopefully I get to talk to you again one of these later nights.
Sounds good. Have a good one.
Yep, take it easy. We'll bring up your second place finisher, Isaac Salas. Well, Isaac, maybe not the way you drew it up there at the end. Had the dominant car for most of the race there, and I think if coulda, woulda, shoulda, but if there weren't any cautions, they would have had a tough time catching you tonight. Tell us a little bit about the race.
Yeah, man, it was a lot of fun. The first part was good because I actually saved my tires and kind of planned everything out exactly how I wanted to for strategy wise. And then we just kept having cautions. I was like, man, I'm gonna need to save tires, and I didn't want to lose so many spots and positions that you wouldn't be able to kind of be in that battle. And so I was trying to stick around and just kind of stay up close. And yeah, man, that was actually probably one of the most fun finishes I've ever been a part of.
Yeah, finished sideways at the line there, but able to hold on to second. Do you think maybe you just played it a little too easy and let Dittmer get by you? Because I think that's really what kind of burnt your tires up. You're having to push too hard on the bottom to get by him, and just it ended up being a game of track position.
Yeah, the moment that I gave the spot up, I was like, that's not ideal. So I tried to get it back, and obviously you start battling. Now he got worn in tires, and I know Daniel was probably just sitting back there just watching. And it's like, all right, well, I'll join the battle here in 5 laps or so, and just ends up driving by the both of us.
Yeah, he definitely put it on you guys at the end, man. But you had a strong showing, and you look good out there tonight. You got anybody you want to thank on the second?
Yeah, absolutely. Big shout out to Venom Racing and Dean the Super Dirt Car Series. Even though it's not dirt, he still supports the crap out of all of my racing. Magnum Race Designs for this beautiful Busch Light paint scheme. Arson Trackside. I said Magnum Race Designs. My bad. Double shout out for Brian apparently. Got Your Six Racing Network. Mission 22. Top Notch Trucking with my Gramps. Everybody here in Coast to Coast. Thank you for the broadcast. It's like I said earlier, it's exciting to get to go back and watch you. Never been alone. You've been alone one time, I want to say, but
yeah,
not that I've seen.
I did the special week, but that doesn't count. So
there you go. Well,
we'll see. The big block race, I messed up a little bit. Didn't have the audio going, so you just get to listen to me commentate it till a couple laps left. But at least they got to see the racing, and we'll work all the kinks out.
There you go. Yeah, you getting there, man. So, but yeah, thanks to my friends, my family. Thanks to my girlfriend. I know she's watching, and so yeah, about covers it, buddy.
Well, congrats, man, and hopefully I get to talk to you again.
Awesome. Thanks, bud.
Yep. Have a good night, Isaac.
You too, buddy.
That's Isaac Salas in the 05, your second place finisher tonight. Let's go ahead and bring up your leader, or your winner. Daniel Blau, Zach Chapman, man, you got a copy?
Gotcha, Zach. How you doing, sir?
Well, dude, talk about stealing one, man. Let's fill us in a little bit about it. That last run, were you letting them go at it and just saving your tires a little bit?
I was, to be honest, after getting wrecked going for the, passing for the lead last week, I was good just finishing third. I didn't want to push it. They had a great race going. And I kind of noticed that they were really, really pushing at those last 4 or 5 laps. So coming to the white there, I got that just unbelievable run coming off of 4. I kind of let it float up a little bit, jammed it to the left and jabbed the gas, and I was like, man, if it sticks, I'm going. If not, then I'll let out and let those guys go. But I got that run. I was like, oh, I got to go for it now.
Yeah, man, you really put the pressure on Brandon there. It was just going slow there. Made him get in the wall. So you did it. I mean, I couldn't believe it. I brought you up a little bit there with like 8 laps to go. I said, don't count you out. You're right there sniffing in third, and you made me look smart. So I appreciate that, Daniel.
Hey, anytime, man. Yeah, that first run, I just got, I didn't get a real good qualifying lap, so I was a little bit back in the field. Then there was that wreck that a yellow didn't come out, so I fell back like 4 or 5 seconds from those guys. But I was, at the end of that run, I was still running like 24 7s and 8s. I was running 2 or 3 tenths faster than those guys. I was really, really catching them before we pitted at that halfway mark. But that was my plan. Second half is just save tires, and hopefully I get a shot at the end. I've lost plenty of them at the end, so it was nice to steal one.
Yeah, it's pretty neat too that you noticed that, because going to the end of that first run, I was calling out your lap times, and there were a couple times where you and Isaac were identical laps. And I brought up that, you might have something for him, but you just had such a bad start that, you weren't going to be able to make it up under green flag. So those cautions definitely benefited you, and you did a good job of avoiding them tonight. So got anybody you want to thank on this win tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. My good buddy Jeremy at raceprint.com. See him for all your hero card graphics, t-shirts, hats, any of that kind of stuff. Guys at Northwest Arsenal. My good buddy and teammate Lance, he's always helping me out in every aspect, racing, painting, everything. He's a good dude and good buddy. And of course, my wife for all her support, and then you guys for a great broadcast. It's fun going back after every race and rewatching it and listening to you guys on the broadcast. So a lot of fun. And of course, Roger and Preston, all those guys for the league. It's been a lot of fun.
Well, we appreciate that, Daniel, and congrats tonight. You showed what perseverance can do. You just keep plugging away, and if you're there at the end, you never know, you can bag one out. Good job tonight.
Yeah, sir. Thanks, Zach. Appreciate it again, sir. You did a great job tonight.
Thanks, Daniel. Well, that was Daniel Blau, your winner this evening. Going to be interesting to take a look at the points next week. Isaac was able to finish second, but did get those incident points at the end, so that should be a big night for Daniel. He's going to get hard charger and those 0x for incident points, so he should be looking at a big bonus. But thank you, everyone, for tuning in tonight. And on behalf of Coast to Coast Racing, this is Zach Chapman, and I'll be signing off. Good evening.